Welcome, Ultras, Switchy Sisters, and Danonites alike to episode 57 of the weekly episodic game adjacent live stream podcast show. This is Switch to Ultra, halfway through the year. The last couple weeks, we have had long episodes because of how much exciting information has poured onto our plates. And this week is no different. It's just that all the news is bad. $1,000 Steam machine, $750 Xbox is even more expensive Switch 2's massive layoffs, and the $100 price point to get all of the features for one video game. This sucks. I'm your co-parent, BHultra. Oh? What's happening to me? Okay, my mic is correct. Hello? Something must be wrong with my camera, huh? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes,
I forgot to change. I'm going into a different angle. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I know. And I'm your co-parent.
Well, we're
Switchy.
in a tunnel or something, yeah.
And I'm your Funkle Dan. Wow,
Yeah.
You look better than usual.
Yeah, I got a haircut. It's been growing back a little different ever since I shaved it all off. It's been coming back in weird and mysterious ways, but you know, this is the future. Sorry, I need to gesticulate a lot. The future of technology. There we go. See, something about like the big monkey nose of it all in the mouth doesn't really work well with small utterances. But yeah, all of that to say, one of the 5 or 6 new Nintendo games did release between installments of Switch 2 Ultra. Overall, what do the two of you think about Star Fox 2026? I don't like that you can physically see me looking at my notes.
You know, before I get to my thoughts on Star Fox 2026, I do find it kind of interesting or kind of endearing seeing the Andrew like face tracking thing. I think because like I don't know, especially in this era of AI and shit, like it is kind of endearing seeing Nintendo try and make a big selling point out of this like 10-year-old face tracking technology. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like
it's
Zoom
like,
levels of stuff.
Like yeah, it's like Zoom basically.
Yeah.
But you know, I was ready to hate on the new Star Fox. And there's a lot of things that are worth being negative about, just, you know, because it's, I don't know, like to relieve stress or something.
I mean, it is an N64 remake. I can
it's an
understand-
N64 remake that's coming out the same year as another N64 remake, you know, that was also remade 15 years. Like, there's a lot of things to be hard about. There's also the voice acting, which people are pretty negative on, and I am definitely one of them. But, you know, I'll be honest, like it looks better than I think I originally gave it credit for. It plays pretty well, too. You know, like, it's really nice playing Star Fox 64 at 60 FPS. I'll even say, like, I think generally, you generally get a more overt, clear experience with the visuals of the original Star Fox 64, the 3DS version. There are points where I think there's a little bit too much, you know, moody lighting in this game, maybe. But I will say there are some like genuine improvements with certain boss fights where in the original game, like they had beams that just took up the entire screen and you weren't really sure if you were avoiding them or not. They kind of improved that here. That's kind of a minor thing, but you know, like I had fun. I was ready to hate, but I had fun.
From a visual standpoint, it has the same visual cohesion that all versions of Star Fox 64 have, which is that Corneria is the coolest looking area and has the most going on, and it's also the first level. And once you get out of it, every world after that is like, oh, this is the water planet and the fire planet. Whereas Corneria is the only one that feels like a bustling world, maybe outside of like the train level itself. But that's,
yeah, I like Macbeth, to be fair, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. We're really like, as far from a gameplay standpoint, the main argument to be had is whether or not like it warrants a remake. It's not so much that like, is this a bad game? But I will say the only thing, because like I don't think there's any change they made that like actually ruined anything. The one thing that really bugged me was in the Oh, I forget. It's like kind of Volcanion, but it's called something. It sounds like it's Volcane. Volcane is the boss in that lava world. There are little bits where the lava will like spew out of the ground in an arcing form. And you said like, oh, the visuals are easier to read in the newer version. But I think that they didn't want that like arc of lava to take up as much as the visuals or the screen, so it's a lot more faded. Like it just genuinely has a lower opacity. And maybe I just suck at the game, but like that bit with the hitboxes really frustrated me because often it doesn't look like you're getting hit by it at all. Like it'll just fade through you, but then you'll still accumulate that damage.
I think one of the biggest example I was kind of thinking about, like there's a lot of branching paths in this game.
X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, I forget which one. But it's the one with like at the end, you're basically going the route that Andros isn't expecting. So you're kind of going a bit of a roundabout way to kind of attack Venom. And there's like this one like really like pretty tricky boss. One of the more difficult bosses in the game, and he shoots this gigantic ass beam at you. And I remember playing the original game, and it was like I think I was usually avoiding getting hit, but I like wasn't sure. And I don't know. I mean, I think one thing I do appreciate about this game is that I think there's certain instances where it's a little bit more easy to follow. I'll also say because the game is more because of the cutscenes, some of the added dialogue, I think I developed, a little bit more appreciation for the world of Star Fox playing this one. And to be fair, I've played Star Fox 64 a few times before. I don't know how I'd feel if this is my first exposure to Star Fox 64. But I will say, like there were a couple of instances, like just basic world building things they kind of bring up in this game that they don't really do in the original Star Fox 64, which has some, I think, which is overall probably a good thing, although I can sympathize with some of the critiques that I've heard people say, which we'll probably get to a little bit later. But I don't know, like there's more focus on, for example, how Slippy engineered the thermal like shielding or whatever on the R wings.
Yeah.
So they can kind of like travel near the sun or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, there were certain instances like that gave me a bit more of an appreciation for why the team is going to each planet, what they potentially get out of it. That, I mean, I guess they do kind of cover it in the original N64 version, but I think this game does a little bit more. And in some ways, I think I pay more attention than I did in the original game. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Fox is kind of like, this is going to be a weird comparison. It's kind of like Godzilla in that way. That, like, if you're making a modern one, you do need to do a lot more, like, extra story-based heavy lifting to make it not seem ridiculous. But in an older sense, when you're watching, like, a bunch of rubber suits fight each other, there's a level of charm that comes with it looking like that. So that same amount of, like, well, I don't understand what's going on doesn't really come through. But if you're going to make, like, a modern one, it's like, yeah, you do have to... I wouldn't even say necessarily modernize it. I assumed, going into this, that the main appeal, the main thing, right, even though we did see differently in directs and whatnot, the main thing, the appeal of a remake, is just adding all of those cutscenes in between each level. And I didn't really think about that at first, because honestly, like, that's how Star Fox 64 works. You could play through it the first time. It took me like 2 hours to... like, get to the end and defeat the first Andros. That's how the game is. And then, in the more arcadey sense, you can go back and try different paths with different characters, trying to save them, get a different high score. So, I underestimated how many individual, like, cinematics there were. But I wouldn't even necessarily say that or this groundbreaking VTuber technology is the appeal. To me, I'm starting to come to terms with that. I might genuinely just be a sheep or like a cockroach or something. That if you just give me a big checklist of things, I'm like, oh my god, this game's amazing. Like, honestly, just, like, beating the game and then giving you a list of, like, oh, do all these things in this level is, to me, way more fun than just doing the game. Like, I was so ready to be like, all right, yeah, it's Star Fox again, after, like, beating the game the first time. But as soon as you unlock that checklist, I don't know if it's just me and it's down to preference, but it's like, oh, this is my type of game. Now that I have a shopping list, now this is, like, way more fun.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because, I've played Star Fox 64 a few times, and I kind of like hope to play. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm more motivated to go back to Switch 2 Star Fox, even though that's kind of a faux pas to say. Not because I think I prefer the artistic decision making or I like the voices more. Like, there's a lot of things that I prefer about the original, but I mean, the original doesn't, give me head pats for doing hard stuff in the same way. You know what I mean? So, like, I think because of that, like, I'm probably going to do the campaign for Star Fox Switch 2 a few more times just to get some of the just try to do the things that I've never done before.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
It definitely is artificial longevity, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's certainly like the version of Star Fox 64 that I'm going to sink the most hours into.
And it's in the spirit of the game. I mean, it is kind of like an arcade sort of thing. So, like, it's
they very easily could have just added like a post game, like a bunch more levels after the level, like they do the K. Rool thing where the credits roll. It's like, I mean, they kind of do that, but that happens in the original with the real Andros, fake Andros. Oh, sorry. Speaking of, he's interfering. Of all of that, and to the same point of like the designs of the characters, that it does kind of. What's the word I'm looking for? It does get to you, like you start to get used to it. And I think that just because like it looks totally fine in motion, but as soon as you start like screenshotting specific moments from the cutscenes, then they look a little weird. If you look a little bit too close, but I don't think they're meant to be like looked at like that. I do just think it like depends. I think they look way better in the better lit areas and scenes, but the fact that like the ship itself is so dark and kind of claustrophobic in that way. And I'm not, I mean, I'm never one to like take the story over the game of it all. And that's sort of a debate I've seen in the recent Deltarune chapter. But like reading through all the little, basically like the trophies they have, now every game has logs that you can read a descriptor that's clearly meant to go on a wiki at some point of all the different characters. And it makes... It puts stuff in a little bit more perspective. That this is the first time where like I like, or rather understand Fox as a character. Now I'll say like, because I kind of hated how he was in the Mario Galaxy movie.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't. This is such like an old guy watching a kid's movie thing to say. It makes me sound like a chud, but like I don't believe them when they say he's cool. When they keep saying they insist that he's cool because every character in the movie is like, whoa, he's so cool. He's got awesome space boots. Like, just let him be cool. If you want him to be cool, don't tell me that he's cool.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. One thing I'll say is that Star Fox specific, like the new game specifically, because there's a little bit more overt characterization, like I low-key hate Falco more than I used to. Like I never hated Falco, but Falco kind of pisses me off at points in this game.
And I heard like people say that it's less biting, and it is to a certain degree. Like there are specific utterances from them that have like, like that of Animal Crossing or any other modern Nintendo game have been sanded down a little bit, but the characters are still there. It does seem,
and in fact, I would argue in some ways they're more...
Yeah, exactly. It does kind of seem like Fox kind of hates Peppy in this version. Every time he says something, he's like, dude, shut up. I don't care.
There's a lot more like a Whedonistic banter in this game.
Yeah.
And and I remember people saying that Fox is too cocky. I don't know if that's like fair to say. I think that's a lot of people. A lot of people have only played Star Fox 64, and the thing is, Fox doesn't talk that much in Star Fox 64. So I think it's relatively common that people kind of just project a more wholesome kind of good guy personality on him, when I think he's always been supposed to be, a little cocky.
Yeah.
So,
well, especially out of like all the original Nintendo characters, like he's certainly the most angsty. He's the only one whose backstory is that his dad died.
But I guess I think I always projected more of a Boy Scout kind of figure onto Fox, even though that doesn't make sense. He's literally a mercenary, and this game kind of cuts through it. But it's so funny. Like there were times in this game, and it never bothered me too much. But there were times like I kind of thought like, dude, you should just like smack fucking Falco on the mouth. I forget which level it was, but there was a point where they were about to go on a mission and they were like Peppy was maybe expressing his doubts and Falco said some shit like I forget what exactly it was, but he was like, oh, well, this team is going to need a real leader first. And I kind of thought, like, Fox, you need to, like, smack him for saying that.
It's even funnier when, like, again, reading into the logs that, like, Fox is, like, 19. Like, I didn't know that.
He's 18, I think.
18? Yeah. I assumed he was 18, like, when it happens, like, when the tragic backstory. Yeah, but like he's literally a teenager, and it makes a lot more sense in context, and it is very funny. I don't remember the exact line. I'm trying to look for it right now, but everything else in the game, I will say that it's like it is a little less goofy with the dialogue, and that's sort of the appeal of like playing an N64 game. That everyone was like, "Whoa, this place is heating up. We got to get out of here." There's a lot of that, but there's one specific line. I don't even remember what he says. In the lava level, that like Falco normally says like, oh, beat it, Flame Brain, and then there's one bit in that level where he just like, oh, this place sucks, like something so mundane that it made me laugh audibly, just like being in a ship and be like, dude, I hate this place, this place sucks. It feels like a Tim Robinson character. It really made me laugh.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons like. Because, honestly, as much as endearing as everyone's been to Star Fox 64's voice acting over the years, like all things considered, it's definitely very rough around the edges. And honestly, I think because of that, it's sort of developed its own identity because, I don't know, and what this most recent dub has been, it's just kind of, I think, just modern day voice direction, just being modern day voice direction without, I don't know, that I feel like if there's any game where they should kind of like, where they should dial up the pastiche and have fun with it, Star Fox remake on the Switch 2 would be
Star Fox 64. I can't imagine it's playing the campaign as much as it is like playing multiplayer. And that's where the characters got a lot of their characterization later in like games like Smash Bros. Is like, okay, now they're on their feet. And we'll get into Star Fox because we're actually going to go over his moveset. We might do it earlier than expected. But there's a lot of that. I haven't had the opportunity to try the online yet, but I imagine certain, and this isn't to say anything about the Switch 2 version of Mario Wonder, because I did like a Switch 2 version of Mario Wonder, but I feel like most of the time I'm going to dedicate to it is just playing it online, like doing the multiplayer mode. Probably. The Dan the Man Show. Do you have any thoughts on Star Fox 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have as much as you guys said. I've only played a little bit so far. I'm only on like the third planet of my first run, but I'm enjoying it so far. Been a lot of fun. I also never like beat Star Fox on 64 or 3DS, so maybe it's not the kind of game for me where I 100% it, but maybe I'll go for at least 2 to 3 endings. We'll see.
You are a little quiet right now, but I'll build on what you were saying. That, I mean, if you're like already a decent bit into it, you are not. You could probably like give it one more hour. You could probably beat that game. It's really not that long. But
I could. It's only like 6 or 8 planets a run, right?
Yes,
6,
yeah.
I think. Wait, no, you might be right. It might be 8.
Well, I think there's like 6, and then there's like there's basically 2 in the final Venom level. Like once you get to a checkpoint,
that's basically two routes.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it's Star Fox 64 with a bunch of new stuff. It's sort of like weirdly reminiscent of like the NES remix games, or even the recent Donkey Kong challenge. The fun is just like adding a bunch of challenges to this game. Because I don't know a whole lot about Star Fox 64, but I don't think anything fundamentally in the levels or the courses, the planets, or the paths you take, I don't know if a lot of that was changed really at all.
I haven't noticed anything yet. It's a pretty faithful remake in that sense.
And I do like, because they don't really do it anymore, if you beat like a Super Nintendo game, and I did it when I played Star Fox for the Super Nintendo, that the credits, instead of like the people who worked on the game, it'll give you a cast list of the game. So it gives you like the name of every enemy, and games don't really do that anymore. So like in Star Fox, like it named every individual ship you fought. And I also didn't even notice it like in my first 2 decades of knowing anything about Star Fox, is how much of the alien and ship designs are based on bugs. Like it feels very like wildlife centric, or at least the ones that aren't monkeys. And the individual awards or achievements also help you sort of retain that. So when it's like, oh, destroy this robot, and then it uses the specific robot name, it's like, oh, well, now I know the name of that thing because it's the Some of them are just like ski robot. It's like, okay, well, I know which one that is. Because some of the time, it'll say like, oh, destroy this thing, and you'll be like, I don't know what that is. And then other times it's like, oh, destroy the ski robot. It's like, okay, well, I that can really be one thing. I know exactly what that is. Yeah, for what it is, what's it, like $50, right?
Like it was $49.99. I think that's honestly, I don't know. I mean, altogether, that's still like not nothing to pay for a game. Yeah. But it's like it's this is kind of, okay. This is kind of a fucked up joke to make, but it popped in my head, and I can't, and I'm not going to pretend I didn't think about it. It's like seeing someone like, you know, make the first few steps against, you know, like a really bad habit they used to have. You know what I mean? It's no, like it's like,
what I
okay,
say whenever
it's like $50, but like is still $50. But the fact that they didn't sell this for $60 or $70, like that alone deserves a little bit of commendation.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. Like it's not. I really don't have anything that bad to say about it. It's like one of those, it's like when a movie is an adaptation and it has bad casting, and that's not to say anything about the cast, but we can talk about that as well, where all of your thoughts about the movie, you've already kind of gotten them out of your system the months leading up to it. And this happened when I saw that Tom Holland Uncharted in like 2022. That like the months leading up to it, all I could think about is like, it's really weird that it's Tom Holland. That makes no sense. And also Mark Wahlberg is in this movie. This is weird casting. And I had already gone through the stages of grief with that. So by the time I got to the movie, I was like, yeah, it was fine. As opposed to like, if I just learned that when I saw it. So like everything about like, oh my God, this is a Star Fox 64 remake. Oh, look at the designs, has kind of washed away, even though from announcement to release, this wasn't that long of a time. But for what it is, the game itself,
a weird thing. That was a weird thing they decided to do. I mean, I guess you could argue on some level it's comparable to maybe like announcing and releasing a Metroid Prime remaster on the same day. But I think this game specifically, despite being literally a remake, it's gutsy in its presentation to an extent that I think it's supposed to feel like a big thing. And I don't know, just announcing it like what, a month, maybe a month and a half before it actually comes out. That is not a thing that I would have expected Nintendo to do.
I just imagine what I had heard is that now they announced it when, and because it wasn't a part of a direct, they just said like, oh, Star Fox Direct, new thing. And what I heard is that
10 minutes before.
Yeah, they posted that a week after the Mario movie had been out in Japan. So I guess they like wanted to keep the Star Fox resurgence a secret after that movie, but also like wanted to release it in the summer. Yeah. So they're like, okay, well the movie's out now. Because was the second Mario movie always gonna be a 2026 release, or was it delayed?
I don't remember.
I imagine it was just like always planned to be 3 years. That's normally what goes. That one movie does really well, so then you spend a bunch of years developing a ton of them. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a new Mario movie every other year. I also haven't seen Supergirl yet, but you know, the same idea. I haven't heard anything good about it, but I can report back as well. However, well, actually, do we have any additional things to cover about Star Fox 2026? It's got to get used to saying that. How overall do you guys feel about the art
style?
I don't mind it, honestly. Like, for this specific game, I think, obviously, that they all look better in these portraits. Like, I don't think that we're... and this is going to sound weird because obviously they purposefully animated the cutscenes that way, but they look the weirdest when they're like up and about, like walking around. And maybe that's because of the design philosophy is that, and we're going to talk about it when we talk about Fox's moveset in Smash, that when you're adapting a game like this, the character doesn't really fight with their feet and hands or walk around. Most of the time you see them, they are an extension of their ship. So, like, these little portraits where you see them pop up at the bottom, or even these, like, VTuber portraits, I think look totally fine. But seeing, like, Falco stand up out of his chair, that looks weird. But I think that's just a microcosm of, like, you're not used to seeing them like that. You know, like, they're when you picture Star Fox characters in your head, they're in those little pop-up squares. So having them outside of it naturally just feels very strange. Do you feel any different?
I think it's the legs. I think the legs are a big part of it. I think the cat redesign sucks. You know, it's funny. You know, like I've heard people kind of say they sort of turned around on the cat redesign, and I don't know. I don't think they've actually turned around on the cat redesign. They've just seen like a couple pieces of like fan art that sort of spin it in a nice way. And they kind of like it because of that. It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, if it inspires a fan artist to kind of spin it in like a nice way, but like that doesn't make the original design. I don't know. I think the original recreation like is just kind of loses a lot of the essence of what Cat is as a character. Fox and Falco are, I think, the main characters that I'm a little mixed on. Peppy and Slippy, though, I think they, in most ways, feel like don't feel like too much of a departure. That it's not really. It's hard to have like either a super negative or super positive opinion on it. I've heard people kind of bring up the comparison to, you know, like the puppet drama designs that they were kind of based off of, and I kind of see that, and I do honestly on some level respect the game for being as visually kind of ballsy as it is. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I honestly feel about it, but it doesn't really affect, you know, my enjoyment of the core game too much. So, you know.
Dan, what do you think about these designs? Now that it's been a little bit and we can see them in action.
I do agree. I think the cat one is probably the weakest so far. At least I've only seen her in the promotional stuff, so, you know, maybe if I see more of her, my opinion will change. But I do think that people kind of overblew the design changes a lot. I think they work just fine. Now, do I think that that would then constitute itself to how they would appear in Smash Bros? That's a totally different question.
that is interesting. That is, I think, the thing that sort of is, you know, the elephant in the room is that fundamentally this is a big change in what Fox looks like, what the Star Fox cast looks like, or it could be. You know, for the past, I mean, frankly, Star Fox in general as a franchise has been frozen in time for the last 20 years. You know, Zero, I don't know if Zero is the designs in Zero are based off of Smash Bros, or the Smash Bros designs are based off of 64. You know, it seems like a lot of the way the Star Fox characters have developed has been because of Smash Bros. Maybe I'm wrong. It does feel like that, though, at least to me. And because of that, you really have to ask what are they gonna like how are they gonna be looked like when you think of Fox now? Is this how they're gonna design Fox from this point forward? Because if that's the case, that's a very big change, and I don't know if I'd really like that. You know, it's a little too gritty for me, I think, but I don't know.
It's really just a matter of like, because there is a second N64 remake coming out this year, is this what Ocarina is going to look like, going off of just that one cutscene? And I honestly feel like, I mean, this design, the smash of it all, I feel is going to be lingering over us the whole time. So I think we can address this elephant in the room right now. For those of you who don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I believe 7 or 6 weeks ago, we cut down the roster down to the 40 essentials. And every week since then, we have been going back to each of their movesets and retooling them on how they might look in a modern Smash game. And today we have, obviously, Fox McCloud's moveset itself. And I'll be honest, like, this moveset is almost entirely made up anyway. There are obvious allusions to the games, but there's only so much you can do when adapting a character that's normally in a ship into just a singular fighting character. So I don't think this is going to be... I don't think we're going to have a whole lot to go into this. The main question is, does Fox change his design? Do we go with the new design?
I'm glad you brought up Ocarina of Time remake because well, first of all, we haven't seen gameplay of the Ocarina of Time remake, and but people were making fun of Link's face in the model for Link's face. But we've seen Zelda reinvent itself visually, and Smash Bros. React to that before, and I think that's why I don't really think. It does feel like something different, and that's why I'm not totally sure what they're going to do with Fox, because Star Fox, I mean, okay, so when you think about the Star Fox games, the last game that came out before this one is Star Fox Zero, which was a reimagining of Star Fox 64.
Classic. Just
how this game is a remake of 64. And the last game before that was Star Fox 64 3D, which is a remake of Star Fox 64. And then you have Star Fox Command. And then you have Star Fox Assault.
4, they brought back the 64 voice actors, and in Brawl they used the Assault voice actors. I believe.
I didn't know that actually. That it was the 64 voice actors, but I do remember the change in voice actors. But the design in the collective, imagination of what Fox from Star Fox looks like has absolutely been, I would say, affected by Smash Bros. Because before Smash Bros. Brawl, even before Smash Bros. Melee, I mean, Fox was like low poly enough that they hadn't really had to sort of standardize his design at that point. And I would argue that Fox's design up until 2026 has been more or less the same, or at least kind of converged onto one basic idea since Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, the Fox in Smash Bros. Brawl feels like the same base design, the same kind of design as the one in 4 and Ultimate and Star Fox Zero and even Star Fox 64 3D. Actually, let me look at Star Fox 64 3D. I might be like totally wrong.
I mean, arguably, like, the design matches the game, but this Star Fox, this moveset we're looking at right now, this is a Smash Bros. Character. You could argue that the side special is a reference to the dash you can do in the game, and the down special is a reference to the little hexagonal barrel roll you can do to reflect projectiles. Those are really the only ones. And the neutral special with the gun as well. Honestly, I really didn't want to keep doing this, with different movesets, to just be like, oh, we should bring back this thing, especially in reference to Final Smashes. But, I mean, out of the 6 or 8 levels that are mandatory to do in Star Fox's newest release, one of them contains the Landmaster. Like, that is a necessary part of the game. So do we bother? Obviously, it wouldn't react the same way because they don't really do Final Smashes like that anymore. They're all transformations. But do you do away with the all of the Star Fox crew go and shoot up the character in their R-Wings? Or do we bring back the Landmaster? Is that worth doing, or is that
bring
just completely...
back the fucking Landmaster, bro? I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I mean, I dude, I think... Especially,
we are for sure biased, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess... Well, first of all, Fox is the only one of the Star Fox characters in Star Fox 64 who actually uses the Landmaster. So, I mean, if there's anyone to do it, like, it would make sense for it to be Fox. And then you already have 2 others. I mean, I guess in this theoretical cutting of the cast, we wouldn't have Wolf, but like the Landmaster, I think was.
We also cut Falco, just so you remember.
No, Falco's still in the list.
Falco's still in it.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Okay, I was getting nightmares about that. You're right.
And that's like one thing. It's like, why not have? I like the idea of Team Star Fox as a final Smash. But I also like the idea of Team of Landmaster. And I guess, the immediate compromise I would think of is one Smash character gets Landmaster, one Smash character gets Team Star Fox. But the thing is, and here's the big issue. I think Fox would be more apropos for both of those final Smashes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I guess what I would probably do is Fox gets Team Star Fox and Falco gets Landmaster, even though, I mean, maybe in like Assault, Falco uses the Landmaster. I don't even know. But
well, to be fair, like everything we're seeing here, the shine, which obviously isn't called, it's just called the reflector in the game. The shine is what the fandom calls it. The all the special moves, like Fox arguably kind of does them, you could argue, but Falco definitely doesn't. But he just has all the same specials anyway. And they like implement more Falco-isms the way he like kicks the reflector instead of just keeping it on him. So the argument,
which is which is iconic. Honestly, right. I love that.
Also, I'm not. I think you can use. Let me look into this actually, because again, like I'm a total LARPer. Can you use? I keep opening that one on accident. Can you use the Landmaster in multiplayer? Let me look at this.
Oh, maybe you can. Loki, I'm like maybe I shouldn't be talking about Star Fox. I don't fucking know shit about Star Fox.
We haven't. Okay, no, they're like on foot. So no. So a lot of their like gunplay is based on that like 4v4. Man, this does look fun. I can't believe. Wait, do they have this mode? This looks really weird, actually. It looks like a Baron, like it looks like a Gmod creepypasta. This is very strange. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they do. To my understanding, they do not. So I guess really the only question is, do we just put the new Star Fox design over top of this one like we did for Donkey Kong? Because I honestly do not have any other changes to this moveset. I don't think there's anything like specific to the new Star Fox game that is worth like, oh, we need to reference that in this moveset specifically.
No, not anything in the new game. I mean, once again, like Star Fox has been kind of frozen in time for 20 years. So it's like I
mean, you see it across like every game that tries to be a Smash clone. Is they call them Spacies, which just refers to like the space animals. Every Smash clone has a version of a Spacey, even if it like literally isn't an animal. That's like a genre of character, and every game has to have it.
I mean, the only thing I could think of, and I don't even know, maybe they already do this, is that maybe you can make some of his movements more one-to-one with some of the combat in Star Fox Adventures, like maybe.
Oh.
But that's like it. Like, I mean, in this, Star Fox fans will probably get mad when you say this. They probably do. They do get mad when you say this.
They probably get mad
on some level. So much. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things to be mad about as a Star Fox fan.
Right. We can't have one thing.
So much of Fox and Falco's identity, is for at least the way people think about them as characters. Smash Bros is a big part of it. Whether it should be or not, you can argue about that, but it's just their movesets in Smash Bros are completely made up for the most part. I mean, you can kind of talk about their specials being sort of based on how like the way they fight in their R wings, but I don't know. It's hard to really touch. Happily touch Fox's moveset.
I don't think we need to change the moveset. I do think we should consider changing the Fox, though. Like, I think it's easy to just copy and paste the new design.
Yeah, I keep avoiding that question. I don't know. I mean, I think it really depends. I mean, going back to the Link thing, we've seen how Smash Bros. Design rehauls the characters have gotten a lot over the years. You think about Wind Waker. I mean, Wind Waker was a huge visual change for Smash Bros. When did Wind Waker? I think that came out before, after Melee. But let me see. Wind Waker after Melee. Yeah, it was 2002. But like Link in Brawl was more based on Twilight Princess. All the characters in Brawl were based on Twilight Princess more than anything. And then Smash 4, it was the new Link didn't seem particularly more inspired by Skyward Sword. He just seemed like Link, kind of more of a standardization of like the elements all the Links share.
Definitely
and
had
then in
the
Smash,
color scheme of Skyward Sword, but I think that's just like
yeah, a little bit
I think that's
brighter.
just
That was
the art style of Smash 4 altogether.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is that it's like is that Twilight Prince is that sort of like the Zelda's art style changing, or is that Smash Bros art style changing? You could argue, but and then with Smash Ultimate, that's when they kind of brought back pastiches from different games. Like Zelda was very much based off of 2D Zelda. Ganon was based off of 64. Link was based off of Breath of the Wild. So I could see them both sticking more to what Fox has always looked like or has looked like for the past few decades. But honestly, I could very easily see them implement the new Star Fox look. Like, yeah, I think I'm gonna, if I had to guess, I don't know. Do I want it to be that way? I don't know. But if I had to guess, I could see them doing new Fox.
I certainly think there's a middle ground where they could like keep the costume and the facial design, but maybe change the proportions a little bit. I think the biggest question or the biggest issue is not so much like, do you change Fox? It's more so like, is Falco taller than Fox? And that's really where the argument comes in. Because he definitely is in the game, but they're more or less the same height. Dan, what do you think? This is a unilateral decision?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Nice. All right, let me find this. Yeah, wait, hold on. Fox render. Specific render is always him sitting in the... Oh, no, I don't want that. Hold on. Now I gotta look up 2026 so they know which Star Fox I'm talking about. Yeah, that one when he's doing the, like... It's the pants to the legs that he's kind of got, like, goat legs and they get real crowded at the bottom. Like, see these proportions? Yeah, the goat legs. That's what gets me. But I mean, I guess you do. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I think you can maybe keep the proportions the same and then just change the face. Like, maybe just make the eye smaller.
You can... I think, I mean, if it were up to me, like, I'd probably want to bring something from, like, that, something in the spirit of the newer design. I guess the only thing is I would want to keep Fox as a character relatively cute. You know, that's the thing. Fundamentally, the new Fox design's a lot less cute than the old Fox design, and I don't know, I want to... I want Fox to remain like somewhat adorable. Like I still kind of want to pinch his cheeks and stuff, but
that's interesting.
I don't know.
think I've ever viewed Fox as like a cute character. To me, it's always been like the box art for Kirby, where he always looks pissed. You never really viewed him as a character like that.
Like Kirby. I mean, just by the nature of him having, you know, big eyes, you know, they're kind of like. In some ways, you know, I think so, especially when you think about how he looks in 64 3D, there's like sort of the N64 jank of the, like, how the models were done sort of affects, you know, how you see his personality. I don't know. There's something kind of friendly about his old design that isn't real, that's a little bit kind of toned down for the new game, but like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a middle ground. Because I see people all the time who are hyper-specific or rather nostalgic for, like, their own game, saying that, like, oh, I wish that they would bring... For the next Smash game, they should bring back, like, Fox's Melee design. But thinking about it, like, if it is fully updated to, like, be the Melee, quote, design, but on modern technology, is the Melee costume even different? Like, I swear he's wearing the same thing anyway. I never understand what people mean when they say that. Like, do they seriously...
Probably something more akin to how they designed Ganondorf's face, how they imagined Ganondorf as, like, visually as a character in like 64 versus Twilight Princess, because they have different faces. I mean,
but
64
I don't think Fox
like
does. Like in Smash Ultimate, it looks like if you made an HD version of that Melee design. Like I don't, other than the scarf is a little smaller, but I feel like it's not that different.
Let me see. Fox Melee versus Brawl. Let me see.
We can put this check over top. Star Fox. That is another. That is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nah, I mean, like. You know, like they add anime eyes to Fox in Brawl. He has a much longer snout.
Longer snoot.
His color scheme's more basic. His face in general in Brawl is a little flatter. Like I think there's sort of a There's a visual look to how he is in Melee that was changed in Brawl that theoretically I think they could lean into more if they wanted to for the next Smash game. But I mean, like there are a lot of things, like for example, also the little thing on his head, I think it's part of his like comm device, is a lot bigger in Melee than it is in Brawl. He's a lot more orange in Melee than he is in Brawl. I don't know. I can see differences.
But how much of that like is the character design, and how much of that just like is the GameCube model? Like I feel like if you
with the color, I think that's the art design. To be fair,
okay,
with the size of the comm device, I think that's an artistic choice. That was just kind of a change in how Fox was designed as a character.
That's just always what whenever picture whenever people say that is I picture specifically like the how you can use the Mario 64 model in Odyssey, like genuinely just copy and pasting that exact model, because that's the one that people really like. So we could jump around a little bit. The last couple weeks we have had big leaks and other big proper announcements like that of the Summer Games Fest, all of the game announcements coming out of that, and the complete bloodbath that is happening in September because everyone is afraid to combat Grand Theft Auto, and we could talk about Grand Theft Auto in a little bit, but the big thing that happened this weekend in between installments of Switch 2 Ultra was the yearly video game tournament competition series known as EVO. And normally, and I don't know what, normally EVO's in like July, so the fact that they did this like a couple weeks after all the releases, this is normally where fighting games announce a lot of their stuff. And to me, if we're separating, we talk about Smash, we just talked about it for like an hour. We are in this nebulous in-between period. And if there's ever a point to like make a video about like different eras or just say anything about different eras of like Smash Bros, we are in the longest Smash Bros drought since the series was released ever. Like this is the longest amount of time between Smash Bros. And since like 2022 to now, so many different games have attempted to take that spot. Because say what you will about like the Smash community, they are a very dedicated group of people. And they really like their specific game. And the thing about that is Nintendo is often not very supportive of the people that play that game, specifically an older game like Melee, because they're not playing it the way they want them to play. And a lot of tumultuous period happened during the pandemic that people who played Melee competitively had to use a modded version of Melee and able to play it online because there was literally a global pandemic, and Nintendo really cracked down on that. So since that moment, several different companies with a lot of money behind them have tried to take that slot. Now, I wouldn't say that it's a fool's errand. I think there's something commendable in having a platform fighter that is supported by the community, because you see EVO and you see people win hundreds of thousands of dollars for Street Fighter and for even newer games like Avatar or Tokon that are still yet to be released. And then you see people who are so passionate about Smash Bros that are basically doing it for a hot dog and a handshake, which is fine. Like, you have passion for the game, but people like, competitive gamers are winning millions of dollars for Fortnite. And that's not me decrying anything about Fortnite. It's just emblematic of the lack of support for Smash Bros. So if there is hypothetically a company to back their platform fighter, it would behoove the community at large to get behind it. And we've seen large companies, there is a League of Legends platform fighter, there was a Warner Bros platform fighter, and a Nickelodeon platform fighter, and I guess now they're all under the Paramount umbrella, so you'll never know. Maybe there's going to be a Nickelodeon Multiverses crossover. Boy, wouldn't that be fun under all the big tent. But I think out of all of them, there's a lot of gimmick ones, and that's not to say anything bad about them, but I played a lot of them recently on stream. Fraymakers, Indie Pogo, Brawlhalla is probably the most lucrative just because a lot of people play it because it is free to play and relies on microtransactions. But the main one that has a specific support of the community has been Rivals of Aether 2. So Rivals of Aether, the original, was more of a pixel art based platform fighter. And there's a very specific character down here, I believe Orcane is the name. And what's fun is it actually started as a fan-made project, like how Fraymakers comes from the creators of like Super Smash Flash, and Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl comes from the creators of is it Slap City, the one with the big fish guy? There was a very lucrative era, like a very
Yes, I think it was Slap City. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
where that guy was all over the thumbnails. The Orcane character is a retooling of a Vaporeon fan moveset that existed in like this What If Smash Bros. Was for Game Boy fan game. So the original Rivals of Aether is just like a really decent to good platform fighter. But the second game is the backing of, I forget what it's called. It's like Offline Games, I think. Yeah, Offline Games, which is like a Twitch organization. I think Ludwig is the money guy behind it. He's always got a ton of fucking money. And Ludwig, despite breaking in to like traditional streamer spaces, started in the Melee scene, so obviously has a specific warmth for that community. So they're trying to, and also the down air there, the specific movements, a lot of it, this is Kirby, Pac-Man, Jigglypuff, trying to use all of those. And there's nothing wrong with having the specific archetypes, but this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm actually really excited about this, but not because of this character specifically. I had fun with Rivals 2, but I never liked it as much as Rivals 1 because Rivals 1 had two things over it. One, I think Rivals 1 has a more interesting art style off of like being pixel art as opposed to like the 3D style the sequel went with. And the first game had become sort of like an infinite fun machine where it was getting into Mugen territory or like Mario Maker territory because the first game had a custom workshop, like a built-in character creator where you could create movesets for any character that you put in the game. And what they announced at the same EVO as well is backwards compatibility with the Steam Workshop for the first game. So I wonder if they see any of it, like the pixelated characters. But yeah, there you can mod in your own characters. And I don't know if you guys remember, like, watched any videos from people who played the original Rivals of Aether. People put, like, it was a meme game for a while. You could play as Ouija. You could play as Ronald McDonald. Imagine if Mugen was a platform fighter. And now it seems like you can play as those same characters in the new game. And honestly, that is the thing that has made me the most excited for Rivals 2, more than any other thing they've announced, other than also learning it has remote play, and I'm the only one who needs it. But they also...
I don't know. I mean, I think Mina, I might be more excited
Yeah, I was going to bring this up as well, that I believe that Shovel Knight was a guest character in the original Rivals of Aether, because Shovel Knight is basically in every platform fighter, aside from the ones that are just the Warner Bros. One and the Nickelodeon one. Even in
He's
Smash
in every
Bros.
game ever, yeah.
Yeah, it is the indie character. And the way they talked about this, I haven't had the opportunity to play the game yet, but the way they talked about this, they just said like Rivals of Aether to X Mina the Hollower, and they said featuring a character from Mina the Hollower. I mean, surely it has to be Mina, right? Who else would or could it be?
It's a Min situation. It's like, let's not do the protagonist.
Well, Dan, you played
I've played it. I'm not fully done yet because unfortunately, I haven't had the time. But there are other characters in the game, but like they're not like Shovel Knight, where it's like with Mega Man, it's like, there's Airman, there's Heat Man, there's blah blah blah, and then with Mega Man, there's with the Shovel Knight, there's Polar Knight, there's King Knight, there's Shield Knight, there's all those.
I don't know if you played any of it, but Shovel Knight's moveset in the original Rivals of Aether is sort of like a Hero Steve situation, where his special, he could like, the more you hit people, the more money you dig up, and then you could trade that money for weapons at like a marketplace that you can go to during the match. Like you could open a little shop and go through the inventory. So it has a high ceiling, but there's a lot of gimmickry that could happen there.
Right. I think I know what you're saying. I think I've heard of that before, and it just there isn't really that with Mina specifically. Like I just don't think there are bosses, yeah, but like it's nowhere near like the character revelation of those other bosses in their other mainline series. I mean, maybe the final boss from what I've heard, but even then, if it's not Mina, I'd be shocked if it was anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's cute that they collaborated with Yacht Club for the first game, and then they're bringing it back for this. Like, there are very few And I think that's the difference when you're making like a game to compete with Smash, or rather, I don't know if anyone's trying to compete with Smash as much as they're trying to fill the void of Smash. Like, we're all just buying time. You know, it's been 7 years? No, not, wait, 8 years now, right? It will be 8 years in December. 8 years. And there hasn't been like a guest character for any other platform fighter that I've been like, holy shit, this is huge, as much as Smash Bros. You know, when I see like the Ninja Turtles or wrestlers go to Brawlhalla, I understand that means I have to pay money for Brawlhalla, which I just refuse to do. Or even Rayman in that game. Because there's a lot of characters that are sort of like a consolation. Like, oh, well, you can't play a Shovel Knight in Smash, but here he is in this game. Same goes for Rayman. But this is, I think it's cute more than anything. It doesn't make me fucking like do a backflip, but I think it is fun. And I am excited to play more Rivals too. And I honestly do want to get more into it, especially like, you know, compared to how many fighting games are going to come out over the next couple months. And there were character announcements for Marvel Tokon. Specifically, like, I know it's a little bit of old hat. I feel like more and more people are kind of getting sick of Deadpool. Like, I feel like maybe I'm just surrounded by negativity, but I see that a lot. But I like that Deadpool's moveset in Marvel Tokon is just like a fourth wall breaking reference machine that he just references other fighting games by stealing their characters. Like, he does the Scorpion get over
funny.
here, and then the little toasty thing shows up in the corner. He does the Doctor Doom foot dive from Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a really fun concept for a character. However, we'll cover all the Smash stuff now because normally that would be the end of everything we have to say. However, on this show, we normally, whenever we have a guest, we ask them which character they would most want to see in Smash Bros. In the hypothetical next Smash Bros. If they have to back one character above all else. And obviously, when Dan was a guest on this show, he locked in his character as Shovel Knight. And then, because Dan became a full-time host, we had the opportunity to ask Switchy what character he would back, and that character ended up being Geno. I have not locked in anything yet, and I'll be honest, I am often swayed by recency bias. You know, I'll admit that a little bit. However, if I'm putting together something that I want to see the most, on top of something I think is entirely likely, I just said a bunch of buzzwords while saying my sentence. I said, oh, 2018 was 8 years ago. Oh, the indie game character. Oh, something December. Honestly, if you're going to have an indie game character, and arguably Steve already is that, I don't think it's Yooka-Laylee. I don't think it's Shovel Knight. I would like to officially lock in, and I can't change this, but I'm going full throttle with this.
What is it?
Guy from Fez.
Where did it go? Hold on, it's supposed to appear. Oh, I think the Fun Gang stocks. The Fun Gang stocks have never been higher. Ever since I played.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, I played a little bit of Star Fox, but man, I played a lot of. I mean, I already finished Deltarune Chapter 5. Let me save this so it shows up on screen. Actually,
same.
Have you beaten Chapter 5 yet?
I have,
No.
yes. I beat in Chapter 5 completely.
Okay, so you're aware that, like, there's a specific gameplay gimmick in that chapter that just,
Yes.
like, I'm
Yes,
playing
I
it,
am
I'm like,
aware
oh,
of
this
that.
is Chris's forward aerial. This is their grab. Like, I genuinely... I think that Fun Gang stocks have never been higher. And whenever I say this, you know, people who haven't played the game but do play Smash Bros. Have a lot to say about the game. You know, like, oh, well, how would these characters even play? Wouldn't Sans be a bigger deal? And then people who do, there it is, people who really like Deltarune but like don't like Smash as much, the argument is always that, like, Toby is very particular about not releasing, like, merchandise of characters like Chris or Susie because they aren't Darkners, they are real people. And there is a level that is not allowed for those people, whether they be humans or monsters, in crossover
Is it like a lore
material.
reason, or is it like? I haven't kept up with like Deltarune theories and like that kind of discourse. Like I got burnt out with Gaster like 10 years ago.
Well,
so like,
I got good news then because we're still doing
right?
Gaster stuff. But
yeah,
I do not know Toby personally. I cannot pretend to know what goes on in his head. But if I'm a fucking guy who's been on the internet and keeps referencing Nintendo games, there's a character in Deltarune Chapter 5 whose name is Golden Sun 4. It's just spelled differently. And it's a really good gag. If I keep announcing my chapters in Nintendo Directs, if I have exclusive areas that are only available on the Switch too, if I started my game developing journey by making mods of Earthbound, if I was on the Starman forums trying to campaign to get the original mother translated, and fucking Masahiro Sakurai was like, hey, do you want your character to be in the same game as Ness? I don't give a shit about the rules of merch or I'm doing that. I think that, like, again, I don't know him personally, but I think when people say that, they're underestimating how big of a fan of Smash Bros. Toby Fox is. And
he used to play competitive Smash. He name dropped Super Smashing Fighters in his games. Like, literally, Toby Fox is living the way I fantasize, like with the life I fantasized having when I was 7 or 8 years old.
When I was 7, playing Smash Bros with Sakurai, it's fucking nuts.
When I was 7 or 8, I wanted to make video games, and I wanted to make video games that like would get me a character in Smash Bros. I wanted like to have my own characters in Smash Bros. So I wanted to become a game developer, and I fantasized about like my characters being on the Nintendo Hall of Fame because I love Nintendo so much. And now you see Toby Fox, who's also like an American who's been a fan of Nintendo games since he was a kid, who made a game that's so popular in both the U.S. and Japan, is and he's literally met Masahiro Sakurai. I think there's probably been a few other like Nintendo legends he's met. He's talked to them. He's spoken to them. He's made like there were like classes of Smash Bros. Characters that were plausible, at least to me, and there were characters that I just seemed like Nintendo would never want to deal with or never want to touch. Like, I don't know, like, I remember, around the same time for Smash 4, I remember people saying they should put Freddy Fazbear in Smash Bros, and I thought that was ridiculous. I thought that was like stupid as hell. And the way I kind of imagined it, I don't know if I would have said it like this because I was 14 or 13 or whatever, but I remember thinking gay. like they're not, well, yeah, I did, because people made fun of FNAF a lot, and people still make fun of FNAF. But well, yeah, and that's one thing, is that it's like when I heard people say they wanted Freddy in Smash Bros, I kind of thought them as like little children who've never played a game that's older than 5 years. That's one thing, but
or
also
you take it as a joke. It's like nobody genuinely wants that.
I didn't think of it that. I thought they genuinely did. I thought they were just naive, I guess. Right. But because the big thing, it just seemed like maybe at that era, maybe I was just full. Maybe I just didn't really think about it that much. Maybe I was wrong. It just seemed like Nintendo didn't want to touch that shit. It seemed like but for a long time, the only characters in Smash Bros were part of franchises that were part of were from games that were only made in Japan, or characters in games from franchises that were initially made in Japan but maybe kind of outsourced elsewhere. So like that was how it was for the longest time. I'm trying to think, like, who was the first character with like an origin from a non-Japanese franchise? I'm trying to. I mean, I know like Steve was Sweden. There might be one that's earlier. Banjo-Kazooie, I guess.
Does Donkey Kong count?
No, I'm not counting Donkey Kong because like Diddy Kong, because like it's the franchise. I think that was one of the biggest differences. I don't know. It just seemed like for a while the idea of Nintendo sort of allowing characters from these PC like computer games that were developed in America and have like this the kitty indie aesthetic. It just seemed like a thing Nintendo
saying, like, quote from Cave
is
Story should be in, and it's like, that's
oh my god, is it fucking Banjo? Is that it?
Probably, right?
That's what I was thinking. I think it might literally be Banjo.
It might be Banjo. It might just be Banjo then, and that's crazy because that's like, oh my god, that's insane. Wait, no, MGS isn't. Japan.
No, yeah, it is. It's Konami.
Yeah, it's
Kojima.
Kojima.
Fuck, you're right. There might be Banjo.
I want to say also that like if I'm being like trying to be realistic and say that like a new Smash game has like 2 base game third parties. I know normally it's like, oh, you do the Scrimblows a little bit, you do a Pac-Man or you do a Sonic or whatever. I legitimately think the 2 most likely third parties, and it's the same thing with Deltarune, is if you look at all of the games that released between 2018 when Deltarune started, or rather when Smash Ultimate came out, and now, like the biggest things in games, I think the Deltarune chapters, like Deltarune Chapter 1 Shadow dropped a month before Smash Ultimate. Not to get too emotional about it, but I was watching a stream of Etika playing Deltarune Chapter 1 the other day.
Oh God, bro.
I was like, oh my
man.
God, it actually did, like it is that old. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But between that, and also, I want to stake my claim here. Someone in the chat, is saying like, oh, you want these characters from an incomplete game. I guarantee Deltarune will finish before a new Smash game comes out. Like, I'm certain of that. There's 2 chapters left.
Unless it comes out next year.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, I think that they could do like I don't know, like a build of Ultimate maybe next year, but I really don't see. Realistically, well, I don't know. It's not impossible.
If Sakurai's working on it, then yeah, definitely. If it's Sakurai leading the game, then yeah, it wouldn't come out next year, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I mean, I think
I viewed the chapters more as like episodes of Half-Life, and of course, that never got finished. But they are their own games. Like each chapter introduces its own gameplay system, and it's the same thing, emblematic of. The way people talk about the Amazing Digital Circus, that we're sort of in like a weird lore epidemic where people don't want story as much as they want lore. I've seen people say that Chapter 5 is the worst one because it doesn't answer enough questions and it's too gameplay heavy. And that's nuts because it's the most fun chapter. Like they're right. It is the most gameplay centric, but I think that makes it the best chapter. Like it's a video game.
The big thing about, and I've talked about this before, but I think just because I think Chapter 5 of Deltarune hasn't gotten the same just universal praise that, frankly, the first 4 chapters have gone. It's just reminded me, I go back and forth on Deltarune.
People
I think
really did not like Chapter 3, and it helped because.
Oh, really?
What? Well, no, I don't think that's true.
Well,
I think people
it
love
helped
Chapter
that
3
and 4 released at the same time, and basically the idea is that like if 3 released by itself, then it would be bad, but 3 didn't release by itself, so I don't know why we're saying this.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I also think I prefer 3 more than 4, but that's a discussion for another day.
I just think 3 is short. Well, it depends on what you're doing in it, really.
Yeah, 3 is short. It's purposely short.
Yeah.
And I think 5 falls more in line with 3 than 4. It's a little longer than 3, but not as long as 4. And thematically, I also think it falls with 3 a bit. I also think it's probably just because we were so desperate for Deltarune at that point.
Yeah, that was the longest gap between,
so
I can understand why people are
that's
like, oh,
why
this is
like
because like I started playing in 2024, so I didn't care. I was all sunshine and rainbows. Like didn't bother me.
But that's why Deltarune, like, honestly, just kind of left me hanging. And it's kind of why I've sort of had a hard time getting back into it, to be honest with you. And it's not that I don't. I think it's, like when you play Delta and you're like, oh, yeah, this is a very competently well-made kind of game with a lot of heart. But I guess it's just, I don't know, I just think back to when I first played Undertale. Like, I played Undertale like a month after it came out. And, I started, and within the day, I'm like fighting Asgore. And it's just like that game within the day just did so much to like just touch me emotionally. And, within the next couple of weeks, I did the other endings and stuff like that. And
yeah, that's the other thing is that like Undertale isn't really that long either. But weirdly, a lot like Star Fox 64 is you can't really judge it by like starting the game and then rolling the credits because you're gonna do other routes. Like there's so much other thing. There's like secret bosses. Like when I did Chapter 5, I was just like streaming those 9 hours, which is, maybe it takes shorter than that, but and I still missed a bunch of stuff, and I do want to go back and like not do it again, but go back to a previous save and do all the bonus stuff. Like, yeah, if you're just running from the start to the end, then it probably isn't that long, but it's sort of meant for replayability. Like, there's so many different things you can do.
Oh, for sure. Did you do the secret boss or no?
I didn't. But I saved right before
Oh,
the
damn.
final boss because I had 9 pink coins, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just like I'll come back to this save and find whatever one I'm missing, and then just do this because like it is the pink door, right? Like, is that as I don't know if I
Yeah,
haven't looked at
but I'm
anything
not going to say what's behind the pink door.
well,
I'll let you
I've
figure that out for
seen it,
yourself.
but I haven't done it yet. Yeah. But the thing is, I've been doing the weird route on the Switch 2 version, so I also want to like play the chapter again because it's way shorter on the weird route. But I haven't even done the secret bosses in chapters 3 and 4, and the secret boss in chapter 3 is so annoying to get to. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much to do.
Secret boss in File 3 is like it. That might be the worst. Not the worst, but definitely the most difficult to just get done.
Yeah. Well, I do like. There is something to be said about like someone making a game that like they grew up both with these Nintendo games and on the internet, that a lot of stuff you do in Deltarune for a secret boss kind of reads like a playground rumor or a creepypasta, and it makes it way more fun. It's like, oh yeah, you have to do like there's no way. Well, no, you could probably figure out all the secrets, but I haven't. Like, I've never accidentally encountered an egg room or a secret boss. I've always needed to look it up after the fact. And normally I don't like that, but I think it's really fun in this game, so I could be like, oh, that's what that thing was. But what I wanted to say earlier, shocking thing, if there's only like 2 base game third-party reps, the 2 that I'm most certain in are the 2 biggest games, I will say, franchise-wise, that came out between Smash Bros. Sectors, between different games. And I think that the 2 third parties I'm locking in is 1, Deltarune rep, and 2, Norman Reedus from Death Stranding, because that came out right after Ultimate.
That's
and
very funny.
I'm like, I'm pretty certain that's going to happen. Because, like, you know, now there's been such a... I don't think any company wouldn't want their character in the game nowadays. You know, like, I think that these... the speculation about, like, a new Smash game is like, well, you have to take into account that it takes years to... what's the word I'm looking for? To debate the rights of these characters. Like, negotiate the rights. But now, like... Specifically with Smash Ultimate era, like, because the trailers were big in Smash 4, but Ultimate is when, like, it became a huge event. I imagine it would be a lot easier to negotiate characters this time around, if they are doing it again. I can't think of a company that would, like, have contingencies or, like, specific asks, maybe. But I can see a world where, you know, Sakurai is still close friends with Kojima, and Konami kind of very publicly parted ways with him, and now he has this new character. I don't think that they're necessarily going to cut Snake, but I think that it's more likely that we could get that. I don't even know Norman Reedus' name, because he just is Norman Reedus in the game. But to me, the big game that has been happening concurrently from 2018 to now, that is so connected to Nintendo in the Nintendo sphere without being a literal Nintendo game, announcing chapters exclusively in their directs. I think Deltarune is a lock. I think the Fun Gang specifically could scratch that itch of a trio character. Obviously, we had a guest on previously who, our previous editor of Switch to Ultra, who locked in the Rhythm Girl from Rhythm Heaven, and there's an upcoming Rhythm Heaven game. We could talk about that next week. I think that we've sort of graduated from this Chorus Kids discussion. I feel like Chorus Kids was like circumstantial, that people heard about the Chorus Kids and then they locked them in. Whereas if you like asked someone to be like, hey, pick a Rhythm Heaven character, I don't think that they would necessarily default to the Chorus Kids. And I think that Chris using Susie and Ralsei as like literal weapons works a lot better as a trio character. And we see it in Chapter 5, where not only do we see a platform fighter section, ostensibly an action platformer, where Chris basically already has a forward air, but also like uses Ralsei as a grapple using that scarf, and then being able to use the Rude Buster from Susie. Like, I think it works as a trio. I think the Fun Gang... This is my character. And I know there's other characters I've always wanted in, you know, your Crashes, your Raymans, your Shells, but, you know, I'm a grown adult man now, and I think I'm locking in Fun Gang. That's my trio. That's my piece. I just wanted to say that because I had so much fun with Deltarune Chapter 5. And every time I come back to it.
Here's the question then.
Okay.
Are they being 3D modeled, or are they getting the Game & Watch treatment?
I think they're 3D models. Like, I think they have to be.
That's what I would expect. Like, I don't know. I mean, I
Because the same could be
That's
applied
how
to
I
like
think,
Duck
yeah.
Hunt, but Duck Hunt's still like a 3D model, right? Because
yeah, I mean,
there's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
know.
characters.
I
That are
guess
like
one
that.
other thing that I've always been a little bit back at why I remember thinking about this when people talked about Frisk being in Smash Bros. You know, back for Smash 4 and Ultimate, is that like I don't know. I don't think this is actually a big issue. I don't think this would actually stop anything, but I did think about it. You know, a big part of at least Undertale, I know it's not as big of a thing in Deltarune, is the fact that like the true pacifists, you know, part of it is you don't actually fight. You don't fight in that
Yes.
game. I mean, I guess you can. So I just kind of wondered, like, I don't know if that would be a problem because it did kind of feel a little bit less against the spirit of the original game. Though I don't really think that's a big issue. I mean,
Well, that's like isn't
like
a thing
part of
in
part of it,
Deltarune.
yeah, it's not really a thing in Deltarune. So like, I don't know.
Well, because very literally, like every enemy that you defeat, like it's like Pokemon. Like it just says like, oh, they ran away. To the point where
Yeah.
like there is a very specific hidden route where you could find ways to kill the characters. But also, you know, the Fun Gang is not abhorrent to violence. Like they would definitely fight other people. And I think that there's a little bit of canonical shifting that's allowed when getting your character in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Like it's different with like the director of Kingdom Hearts being like, oh, no one else can use the Keyblade. And then like, you know, someone who clearly grew up with Smash Bros. Like I do think it's a little different. Again, I don't know Toby.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a big issue. I think generally the joy of kind of celebrating Undertale and Deltarune through Smash Bros. Would probably supersede it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's just a thing that kind of I thought about when like Undertale was first getting big.
Yeah. Man, look at how this is a crazy spread actually. Not only these characters, but like these guests. 7, 8. We
Salty
got 9
D3
characters here. Yeah, that's Salty Shadow. Have you
Franco
guys?
Floss.
No, I guess we locked him in. I mean, any of them could happen. I'm not as certain about Heracross, but we will see. I'm glad.
Whoa,
kept it,
okay, don't diss the cross.
I'm.
Other characters I'd kind of
I'm
like to
excited
see.
for Brent to be right because I think that would be if they add Rabbid Peach. I think that's a realistic aspiration. I like that some of them are like characters that people have wanted in Smash for a while, and some of them are like, oh yeah, I could see that in a new game. I wanted to ask you guys earlier also. I know this has been a very Smash heavy episode of the show, and the last 40 minutes are going to be dedicated to watching Nintendo's E3 2013, but I'm not saying
Ooh.
I'm not asking you if you think it will happen. I'm saying if they to rep the new game or just to rep the series, I guess. We're adding a new Star Fox character to Smash Bros. Who would you prefer that character to be? Not like realistic, but who would you want?
Probably Crystal. I can see. I mean, I like at first I thought Peppy, but probably Crystal. I think first of all, Crystal's hotter. But
Peppy?
yeah,
I was gonna say, what are you talking about?
Get that
I don't know. I mean,
raw.
I can like. There's a reason why Crystal was put in as an assist trophy and not Peppy or Slippy, and it's that she fundamentally has.
It's because there's secret interactions that only some people know about.
I mean,
you have
to
be the
fair,
elite of the elite.
I feel like
to
the
know.
reason she was put in as assist trophy in Brawl is because that was the newest Star Fox game.
That's true, but I guess like there's more potential for, I think, Crystal moveset wise. Like they won't have to make as much shit up for Crystal as they would have to for Slippy or Peppy. I don't know. I mean, it's like Fox and Falco are literally already kind of made up characters, but Crystal, at the very least, you know, there's gameplay sections of Star Fox Adventures where she does stuff, you know, outside of a ship, like that could be translated to Smash Bros. Pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I think that matters.
She's the only one with a melee weapon.
Yeah, because she's not like a pilot. She doesn't do the same things that the main characters do. I guess she does become a pilot, but she she's mechanic. She could be mechanically distinct from Fox, Falco, and Wolf, which I think matters as well. Like it would have to be Crystal for me.
And
I think
Dan,
they should add Rob because I think it'd be funny if there were 2 Robs like there are
Rob
2 Roys.
64.
Or actually,
Yeah.
they should have Andros, but when he's like the flying head thing
They should
with
have
like the
Andrew.
hands.
Well, they had that already as the assist trophy.
That's true.
Well, they have the SNES assist trophy, right? That like he's very polygonal.
That's so funny because it's like Was he always supposed to be like a giant monkey head thing?
Well, the monkey's a
that does not look like a
right?
giant
Like,
monkey head thing.
He's not like a big guy. He's like piloting a big thing, but he is in there.
But
It's
he's also a monkey guy.
Yeah, but it's like the Peter copter. Like it's shaped like him, but it's also like a ship.
Yeah, but like, does that mean that like in the SNES version, he's like just a guy?
I don't think he looks like that. I think that the Andros in Super Nintendo is also a ship, and then he's in it. That is my
I get that. I'm saying, like, if it's based on him in the SNES version, is he just like a guy?
I don't.
It's based on his appearance.
No. I think retroactively he can be the monkey the whole time because Andrew's his nephew, right? But I don't think the Star Wolf characters weren't introduced. Actually, wait, hold on. Weren't the Star Wolf characters in Star Fox 2? I don't think Andros is in Star Fox 2 anyway.
They were in Star Fox 2. I don't know if Andrew was in Star Fox 2, but I think the Star Wolf characters were in Star Fox 2. I don't remember. That game just came out like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the newest one. It's like how the newest Mother release is Earthbound Beginnings.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Everything else has been just a
I like looking
re-release.
at the
That is the
NSO
newest
list,
one.
and they're like list them by date, and then they list Earthbound Beginnings as like 2014 or whenever that came out. I guess 2013. Then.
That's very funny.
So outside of everything we talked about with Smash Bros, your Evos, your Star Foxes, your Deltarunes, the main story between weeks, a lot of exciting stuff. We finally have, because the pre-orders have gone live, something we've been talking about since Dan has been on the show. Now we have the official price points of Grand Theft Auto 6, and it is an $80 Standard Edition and a $100 Ultimate Edition. The interesting thing about both of these versions is that they're physical releases for both of them, but neither of them contain a disc. When you get the physical game, it just gives you a download code for said game. And I think Rockstar sheepishly announced that, like, oh no, we're going to release like an actual physical version in December with a disc. We actually did this so that nobody would spoil the game or like get the game early. But insiders are also saying that that isn't true, and there will never be a physical version.
Yeah, they walked back
game.
on that.
Yeah, and also like you look at this list and think like, okay, the Ultimate Edition just gives you like perks or whatever. Like looking at their version of the list, it just looks like, oh, you get different clothes and different cars or whatever. But in actuality, these are different customization tiers that are like in the shops in the game, but that you could only access them in the Ultimate Edition. I think what's going on here is, and this is going to sound weird to say because, you know, the Standard Edition, I obviously prefer there to be a cheaper version. It's crazy that $80 is cheaper, but I think they just wanted the game to be $100, right? So they could turn a profit. They probably, I don't know if they got cold feet or if they just thought the better of it, but this seems like I think that the Ultimate Edition was built first. Like, that is the game, and they wanted it to be $100. And then the Standard Edition just removes a bunch of that stuff. Like, an entire mod shop is removed just to make it $80, which is already, that's now Mario Kart levels, and I think Fire Emblem levels as well is going to be the same thing. I think they're all 80. But at least Mario Kart is a bundled game. The thing is, if you notice at the very bottom, on top of all this bullshit, also insiders are saying that it caps at 30 FPS. I don't personally care about that, but for an $80 to $100 game, that's kind of nuts. It also,
especially like GTA 6. You know?
This is supposed to be like the big, like, well, look at all the
really
sweat particles.
surprises me.
I don't disagree. That being said, GTA is like one of the few games where it's like, I don't really mind it at 30. Like, GTA 5 plays perfectly at 30. I have no issue with GTA at 30. I think there are no issues with that whatsoever. Now, that being said, if it's not a constant 30, then we're going to have issues.
Right. Like a stream thing now, less about actually getting the game. And I'm going to get it. I'm probably going to get $80 Standard Edition. I would honestly, like, because you're comparing it to Nintendo releasing $80 games, I wasn't surprised because I assumed that GTA, because it's the most expensive game developed and also has all the hype behind it, would already, like, up the ante to be like, oh, $100 game. But I also like, now that there is a choice, I don't know if I want to. I definitely don't want to pay that extra 20 if it's just all this bonus stuff. But I don't want to be locked out of other things either. The thing that really annoys me is at the bottom on both of these editions, Ultimate Edition and Standard Edition. It says as a free little bonus, it gives you a free month of GTA Plus. And if you don't know, GTA Plus is a subscription model that gives you access to GTA Online and also perks in that game. I do not understand it at all, because if you want to buy GTA Online separately, it's like $30, maybe $20, something like that. And it's like 10, even if it's like $10 a month, like if you just buy GTA Online, you're already saving money if you play it for 3 months. Like, I don't understand that at all. But because it's a free month of GTA Plus, it automatically gives it to you, and it auto renews. So what it does is it downloads this thing with your game that just takes money from your bank each month if you don't shut it down. Because
that is so funny.
It's a digital game, so if you're buying it on like storefronts or whatever, your card is already probably attached to the store anyway. And it's annoying. I'll figure out a way to turn it off, I presume, but are you guys surprised by this?
It'd be illegal for them to not be able to offer you an option to turn it off. That'd be going against a lot of
that's
laws.
the case with a lot of auto renew subscriptions, but you'd be
But
surprised
are they
how
gonna do
many
the
of them
Apple
are near
Music
impossible.
shit where they'll let you cancel it, but they take away your benefits immediately, like when you do that? Because most services, when you kind of do the whole you get your free trial or whatever, it starts, and I mean, if you're like me, you immediately cancel the auto renew. And I assume there's some sort of legal muscle behind this. When that happens, you immediately it tells you like, okay, you lose your membership privileges by this date. But yeah, Apple Music, it just takes it away from you immediately if you cancel. So I assume what GTA 6 is gonna, it probably shouldn't be legal, but I assume what GTA 6 does is probably the former. I doubt they're gonna do the whole like, we'll take away your GTA Plus immediately when you cancel your auto renew. Because that's like honestly grounds to get sued. Well, actually, I don't know. Because if Apple can get away with it, like there's probably, I don't know. That is like a lawsuit waiting to happen. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 10 years that's something that Apple gets sued for, forced to change.
I mean, I hope realistically that this looks worse than it is, and that like all the stuff that isn't in the standard edition is stuff you don't even notice. But because apparently Red Dead 2 also had like an ultimate edition that I didn't even know about, that like has specific story missions in it that like nobody has ever played
bullshit.
Or nobody bothered. Yeah, but that's the thing. Those missions are totally forgotten about because who gets the ultimate edition? So hopefully it's the case with that.
Yeah, but like that's very different than like cosmetics. That's like legitimate story stuff. That kind of stuff pisses me off.
Right. I mean, this is really annoying. I'm not surprised, but like seeing it laid out like this, and like I said, like I don't want to be accused of just being like a mindless consumer. I have noticed though that there's a large concurrent group, and I understand why, right? If you're sinking a lot of money into something, that are seemingly incapable of both choosing to buy something and critiquing it. Like, if they already made the decision to buy something, they refuse to take any criticism of that thing at all. And I guess I understand why. Like, if you're paying $100 to $80, you don't want to feel like you're being scammed a little bit, so you want to, like, defend the company outright. But maybe because it's more of like a business expense thing, and, you know, GTA 6 is going to be more of a stream series like the Switch 2 than it is like, oh man, I'm really excited for this game. But I don't think it's like impossible to both buy the thing and also be upset about buying the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that position. And frankly, you know, I'm not saying this to shit on you, right? Because I don't blame you for getting the game. That's kind of what they're counting on, right? Like I think a lot of people like what a lot of these business decisions are kind of coldly made with the idea of can we how much, like how far can we push people to the ledge, you know? Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, do I really want to pay, you know, this much for GTA 6? And like, if they already have because it's on PS5, right? It's not in Xbox Series, whatever. Like, a a lot of people are like, well, I have a
Switch
console.
version?
It's $80. You know, it's whatever. I don't know. I think there's enough. Like they're not. They assume they're not going to lose enough potential customers with this that they can get away with it. And I mean, I don't even say that to like be super harsh. I think it's fundamentally like it's decisions you have to make. You know, in
I mean,
business.
this is all totally fine, and I agree with what you're saying. I think that like the only way it doesn't do well is if it's like, and this is also entirely possible, if it's like a Cyberpunk level Bethesda like straight up doesn't work at launch. Yeah.
The 30 FPS, honestly,
there's no fucking way they worked
worried.
at this for as long as they did, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's the other thing
that
about
happens.
but we also haven't seen any gameplay. Like, still.
Here's the thing: if that happens, that's not a recession indicator. That's a depression indicator. Like we are officially in a
gaming's
depression.
over. I mean, on top of all this, you know, Xbox announced that they're going to be raising their prices on August 1st for the $750 1 terabyte model, and also Nintendo is raising the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 in September. So, you know, everything, and we saw all the Steam machine related stuff. We're going to get to a point where nobody can afford to buy a console if they already don't have them. And games in and of themselves, AAA games in particular, are going to get more expensive. It'll become a luxury item, or it'll become, because there is such an industry of like, I mean, we're in it, or I'm in it, an industry of like people using games to then make their money back by playing said game and making entertainment out of it, that now it like the only people that will be able to get it are people that are already basically being paid to play it anyway. I don't think that like gaming is dead. Like hopefully like that of like 70s films or like 60s films, there's like a huge indie resurgence, and we do still have a little bit of that. I would argue that like the best stuff released in the last couple of years are indie games, but
oh yeah, 100%.
there is a
you were probably
threshold
kind
of
of
like,
already
no
there
going
in
back.
some ways.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the whole indie thing. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily indie production in general. I think in some ways it is, because fundamentally, nowadays, you know, every new game that comes out is bonkers expensive. Or, well, I don't know. I mean, the people make the point that, you know, back in the era of the SNES and N64, like a $100 game was pretty common. So games are valued differently than they used to be, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I think, frankly, for what it's worth, you don't need the highest production and the craziest the craziest visuals to make a game people like a lot. And that's why in some ways there's a race to the bottom on platforms like Steam, where you have these dirt cheap ass games and the games are good. You know, like some of the greatest games I've ever played, some of my favorite games, you know, I got for dirt cheap online. I think I got Undertale for like $10. Deus Ex I got for like $2. GTA San Andreas I got for like, I think probably like less than $5. It's like, you know,
you could go buy Portal 1 and 2 for like $3 right now on Steam, and those are some of the
literally
greatest games of all time.
And Portal 2, like Portal 2 is probably like in the conversation for like top 10 games ever. So it's that's a whole dynamic of the industry that's been around for a while, and honestly, it's probably only to get stronger, because even before, you know, trends of the last 5 years, I mean, $60 for new games, you know, a lot of people are not really in the mood to buy that. Not enough that it's like really cut. I mean, I think nowadays people are a little bit more like, there's a little bit more cynicism for how expensive games are. But, you know, like 5-10 years ago, you know, it's like I really got an appreciation that not everyone cares enough about video games to, you know, pay for them, you know, like buy the ones that they feel like they have to, and I think a lot of those people are catered to by, frankly, some types of games are so easy to get nowadays. So I don't know, it is interesting to think about.
Yeah.
For me, it's.
I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but at the very least, at the moment, there's currently a lawsuit brewing against the big three RAM manufacturers, Samsung, Micron, and some other one, about how they might be artificially producing less to inflate the price.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think there could be something there, but at the same time, I hope that doesn't devalue how bad AI is fucking everything over.
Yeah. Well, the argument is that like they're
two
doing
things
that
can be true.
specifically. They're doing that allegedly. They're doing this specifically to hedge more money into AI because they have higher control over the bottom line of that as opposed to like console manufacturers. So both of those things can be true at the same time.
Exactly. So, I'm hopeful that this will not be a thing,
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to keep being like, oh, it's going to burst any day, but I think we're hopeful that like something's going to happen soon.
Yeah, and for me, like, I'm not trying to like climb the ladder and then kick it down behind me, but like, I have a Series X, I have a PS5, I have a Switch 2, and I have a decent computer. I don't see the need to buy any more consoles for at least like a decade. Like if next year they're like, oh, the PS6 and the Xbox whatever, like that's all right. I don't go most places. Gaming is a household thing for me, and honestly, I can just play my modded 2DS. Like there's so many games already that I haven't played. But like I said, like for me, GTA 6 and like the release of the Switch 2, those are events. The gap between Switches was like 8 years. So I'm not saying that like, oh, it's totally acceptable to pay $80, but I'm a little bit more like accepting to get GTA 6 for $80 than like if they're like, oh, the next Pokemon game is going to be $80. Like we basically get these every year. So GTA 6.
Oh god, it is going to be $80, isn't it?
No, the fact that GTA 6 is like the last GTA game released in 2014. Again, I'm not pro this decision at all. I have the same opinion that I had of the Switch 2, is that like I'm going to buy it. I hope it doesn't sell well, so would Star Fox 2026 be $50? I doubt it. I doubt it would probably be $70, just like fucking Mario Tennis. So, you pay with your vote with your wallet. Like, if I want it to not sell well, so then it gets cheaper, especially if they're releasing a physical version in December. So I haven't pre-ordered because there's no reason to pre-order. I don't think that they're going to change the price at all between now and then. And unfortunately, I've sort of already created this series on stream that's like, okay, well now I've been hyping it up. I guess I'm going to play it. And not that I think it's going to be a bad game, but if the focus is on like graphical fidelity and we haven't seen any gameplay and they're focusing on like how awesome it's going to look, if that shit can run totally fine on the Series X and the PS5, I don't care to get anything else. Like anything else I'll play on my Switch 2 or my Steam or those consoles. I cannot foresee a reason to get a new console in the next like 10 years. Like I have my next gen consoles, I have my computer, I'm locking myself in my bunker and I'm not buying anything more. Like I am completely set. There is nothing they could do with a new Xbox or a new PlayStation that would warrant my purchase of it. Like quite honestly, the PS5 was
What about GTA 7?
And I mean, there's no way they're releasing that in a single digit number of years after GTA 6. Like if this one took longer, I'll be like in my mid 30s when GTA fucking 7 comes out, if even that.
Yeah, I mean the only hole I can maybe poke in like you saying that is maybe something that a new game that completely revolutionizes the way people play, the kind of processing power necessary just comes out in the next 5-10 years that you kind of feel like you need to, but I honestly doubt it. I think unless they start getting really stingy with releasing games in a slightly lower fidelity for the older consoles, you're probably fine and for the next 10 years.
That, like these major companies outside of Nintendo have made it abundantly clear that they don't care about exclusives anyway. So that why would
That's the big thing. Yeah, it's weird. That's everything ends up coming out on Steam except for Nintendo games. Like, right. I don't have a. Oh, actually, I do have a PS4, but I never got a PS5. I never got an Xbox. Right. I never had an Xbox. Life.
I did bite the bullet. I did get a PS5 very recently.
I just got it. I was
like, you know what? That's exactly why I got it, because I'm like, fuck. You know what? I'm gonna do this.
I don't want Astrobot enough. That's the thing.
I think Wolverine's gonna be exclusive, and maybe I'll play it because I have.
I don't mean it'll come out on Steam in 2 years.
It really isn't, but at the same time, it really is as great as everyone says. Like
Astrobot? Oh yeah.
it both isn't worth the price and is worth the price. It's so hard to explain.
Right. Well, even the price of the PS5 is getting raised, so like it maybe the is it worth it argument changes a little bit. But even that, like, I live a very privileged lifestyle. Like I'm in a very fortunate position that like the PS5 was basically covered by the stream viewers, the stream chat anyway. I don't know if I would have otherwise gotten it on my own. And I am in a very specific subset in that. But it's an interesting perspective that now, because streaming is just like its own, I wouldn't even say like media empire, but like its own frontier. I do foresee a future where like games are only made for streamers or like people who make entertainment based on those games. Like, can the average consumer still get in on these what would otherwise be regular console releases on an average level, or are they going to be entirely priced out? And that's my thing, is that like because to me it's a business expense. I'm not saying it doesn't upset me, but I'm going to do it regardless. But I am not going to support this company or this decision at all, because ideally it would be cheaper and everyone would be able to play it. And hopefully, I do also think that we play up the idea of like playing a game as soon as it comes out. Like the idea of a midnight release is really fun. And I liked doing it for the Switch too. And, I'm going to play this game when it comes out because now it's just like on the stream calendar. But you could honestly just play any game that used to be like, oh, the $70, like this is the big next gen thing. You could just wait a couple years, especially if you have an Xbox. Like right now, Expedition 33 and Silksong are just on Game Pass. You can just play those for free if you have Game Pass. I don't think GTA ever will be, but yeah, but I mean, like, if you have in a hypothetical where you already are paying for Game Pass, I suppose. But it's cheaper than like getting them themselves, and I don't foresee GTA 6 ever being a part of that. But you do only have to wait a handful of years. The issue with GTA 6 specifically is like, if there is no physical disc, then there's really not going to be a way. They're trying to kill the secondhand market so that you can't buy it for cheaper.
Yeah.
It's depressing, and it's for a game that we haven't seen any gameplay. We don't know what it plays like. It got leaked in like 2022, and that's when they announced it. You're right? They've had over a decade to work on this game, so it'd be surprising if it wasn't meticulously tested. But also, the code of the game, or an early build, a very primitive build of the game, was leaked in 2022, and then they announced it because
was it really 2022?
Yeah, they announced it because they felt the need that they had to, and only since then have we gotten like, additional information and gameplay trailers, or just trailers in general. And then the game was delayed like twice. So I don't think it's impossible that it could like launch completely fucked up. Like the fact that we haven't seen any gameplay worries me to that degree. I could definitely see this being like a fucking Starfield or Fallout 4 launch where everything's just busted, but not to the degree where it like is refund worthy. But I do think it could completely kill it. They're hiding something. While we're in the personal tangent aspect, this is a total non-issue whatsoever, and it doesn't even personally bother me, but it's something I've brought up before that I want to get into. Is obviously we talked about the release of the Steam machine, and companies like Dbrand are not even being sued, but just Valve told them to take down this specific Dbrand shell. I earnestly thought, because they showed this in the trailer, I thought that this was like I thought this was a collaboration with them, with Valve. It's weird that they
kind of shocked it's not. Like,
yeah.
They just did this and we're like, yeah, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, as far as releases go this year, I have not made a personal enemy, but I have talked at length about J.J. Abrams, both in the Force Awakens video and then also partially in those Portal videos. As you guys may know, Portal is one of my favorite franchises. Portal 2 is my favorite game of all time. I am not often a gatekeeper. I do not often care about, like, quote, LARPers or whatever people are saying. I am not protective of different things. However, I have always been of the contention that basically ever since the game's launch, people have been talking about this J.J. Abrams Portal movie that is technically still in development. I don't know, every couple of years there's like, oh, we're still working, something like that. And the interest has been dwindling ever since. And I am glad, because there is a level of dread to see your favorite game adapted to a TV show or a movie because it's been done dirty so many times. However, all you need is just one young director who is very dedicated and driven to that game to have the same passion. We're seeing it with Zach Krager's Resident Evil movie that's bound to come out this year. The movie that I was the most tentative about this year going into it and genuinely did not think I would like, that won me over while watching it, was Backrooms. I went into it not liking that creator's interpretation of the Backrooms, and then they completely won me over. And I'm sure you've seen all the posts of people singing the praises of how young of a director they are. But recently, Kane Parsons was invited to Valve headquarters to give a little tour, and obviously, posted a bunch of stuff to his story about all this different Valve stuff, but also specifically posted this video, which was footage of a Black Forest cake with the candle and it playing, I believe, Still Alive in the background, just Portal music. And there was a very specific interview around the time of Backrooms where an interviewer asked Kane, is there any franchise that he would be interested in adapting outside of the Backrooms? And he said specifically, there's maybe one or two games from the 2000s, but anything other than that I have no interest in. And you see a lot of that in Backrooms. I mean, Backrooms as a concept is an adaptation of ostensibly a Gmod creepypasta. It's all built in the source of it all. So, like I said, I'm locking in stocks. Stocks have never been higher for Fun Gang and Smash. I don't think we have ever been closer to an actual Portal adaptation. And, if you have this bright young director who made a ton of money for the studio that recently partnered with Google AI, and if you watch Backrooms, you can see how clearly anti-AI the movie is. I don't know who would be making it, distributing it, but I think that we are closer to an actual Portal movie or TV show than we've ever been. And when I've talked about that before, I have always shuddered with fear because I hate the idea of it being adapted to TV or movie. And the idea being that a TV show or a movie could never do it justice. And one of my other favorite games, basically right below Portal 2, is Super Mario Galaxy. And we saw it a lot earlier this year with specific people saying, oh man, I can't believe this movie sucks. Nintendo fucked up their one opportunity to adapt this great game. But the fact of the matter is the best adaptation of Mario Galaxy is the video game. Nothing is ever going to reach that level. And I think it's the same thing, too, that Portal specifically as a series tells the story so much through its gameplay, that's what the Portal videos are really about, that I just don't think it will adapt well to a show or a movie. However, I'm not as anti as I was before, because now I'm a little bit of a Kane truther. I could see him making, if not a good movie, at least a popular movie. And like I said earlier, you can buy the Portal games for a couple bucks. And I would much rather an adaptation than a straight up sequel to a Portal game, because I really don't think that we need that for the Portal story. If there's a new movie that people who have never played the game, know nothing about it, are introduced to this series through the movie or show, then I could see that as a positive. But personally, for me, I would rather there never be an adaptation of Portal 1.
Dude, Loki, I agree with you on some level. I don't know. I mean, you're definitely right because I don't know, so much of Portal works because it's a game. It pioneered. Well, maybe it didn't pioneer. I think it would probably. Yeah, it does. I think it genuinely pioneers a story, a form of storytelling and presentation that's very unique to video games. And I think they could probably make something like a Portal movie work, but I don't know. I feel like it especially because it would probably do well. I think it would cheapen part of what makes Portal so special. I don't know. I think I would prefer it be, something that adds to the story, for the fans. But if they did make a Portal movie, they'd probably want it to be something that sort of retells the basic,
Yeah, I feel like
story
it
of
would have
Cell
to
and
be an
stuff like
adaptation of
that.
that
And
first game specifically.
I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah. Dan, thoughts?
I don't know if there's a perfect way to do Portal. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, it's less that like my opinion has changed that like, oh, I'm actually pro now. It's more that like I don't think an adaptation would bother me as much as it used to. Not even that like I think it'll be good. It probably won't, but I guess I've leaned back a little bit more. That's like it's probably fine. No smoke to JJ, but I guess I'd rather if it has to be made. But the thing about like movie adaptations of video games is like if they're really bad, I think best case scenario for it being a bad movie is that it's like Resident Evil level bad, and then it's kind of just a joke and nobody really thinks about it. I think worst case scenario is it's bad and misinterprets the game and the characters, and then that becomes the primary interpretation amongst people who do not play the game. And again, I am not gatekeeping. I don't give a shit about what people deem as LARP and not LARP, but I don't think that my little heart can take people on TikTok who only watch people talk about games and don't actually play them, give their analysis of the movie and completely miss any points. I think that would bug me a little bit, but I think I'm a lot more lax on the issue, as it were. Again, this isn't like a sure thing, but I like that of the Galaxy movie. I think if it does happen, it'll like hit me closer to it, that I'll be like, oh wait, no, I'm a fan of this thing. It will be kind of exciting to see it. But obviously I would much rather it be a movie than like an Amazon Prime streaming show featuring Walton Goggins as the Ghoul. With all of that to say, we do have this E3 2013 Direct is a solid like 42 minutes. So we have a handful of minutes before we want to get into that final thing. I do want to say that what we used to do on this show is during it, because I was keeping up with video games and TV shows and movies, that there was this big tier list that I would update every week. That this episode right now, Switch to Ultra 57, is not the exact, but it will be this week leading up to the next episode. Where we are right now, this is the halfway point of 2026. And I texted Dan this the other night that I was having so much fun with it, that I really like the new season of Rick and Morty, but I really love the new season of My Adventures with Superman. And Among Us is really good too. They're like comparing all of these TV shows. We don't have to do like a big tier list ranking, but halfway through 2026, do you guys have a game or movie or TV show that you would say is the best of 2026 so far?
No, not really, at least for me.
So, I mean, fuck, that is very hard to say the best so far. I think a contender is definitely Mina the Hollower.
Okay.
Like, that game is so tight and so amazing. It's very hard to, like, find any flaws in it. I'm glad it's seemingly doing well for Yacht Club. I just love that game so much.
Yeah.
Like, I think that might be my Game of the Year contender. It should at least be nominated, personally, but knowing Jeff Keighley, he's not going to nominate it.
They don't like fun
what
games.
else? They don't like fun games. What else?
Because, like, for me,
I don't.
I at least for video games, I know that it doesn't count because it's just like a specific chapter of like one video game. But like, Deltarune Chapter 5 is the most, one, excited and two, fun I've had with like an actual video game release this year. Like, I think I had fun with Pokopia. That was fun for what it was. But there's nothing that on like Bonanza level where I'm like, holy shit, this is the thing. Obviously, there are movies, like, I'm still locking in The Drama. I still think that's my favorite movie of the year. There have been really a lot of great movies this year. And honestly, like...
I think mine might be Obsession.
Yeah, that's my number 2. I'm looking at my list right now. It goes Drama, Obsession, Iron Lung, Project Hail Mary. Pretty good so far.
Wait, Iron Lung was this year?
Yeah. Well, it was properly distributed in
year.
theaters. It was like January of this year. That's what I'm saying. Like, looking back at like from a TV perspective, and I've said this before, that like looking back on last year when it comes to TV, Like back to back, it was like Severance season 2 and The Rehearsal season 2 and like The Chair Company. Like those are like all timer stuff. So there hasn't been like a show that's like been on that level. You know, The Boys season 5 it had a good finale, but getting there was a little rocky. Daredevil season 2 was certainly better than season 1. I didn't give a shit about Fallout season 2. Primal was fine. It's weird that there's more of it. Same goes for regular show. You know, like it kind of didn't miss a beat. Like new regular show is not bad, but it isn't anything super spectacular. I don't care about Invincible season 4 either. But like Ted season 2 is really good, and then like these three that I've been watching have been really fun. But as far as like greatest thing, like earnestly, I was just hoping that like Rick and Morty season 9 was just like little like better than season 8, maybe kind of as good as season 7. But this season is like, other than the episode where he fucks the pool cleaner, like these have been really good episodes back to back. Have been really fantastic concepts. And somebody asked me,
it's weird. You think like it'd be an earlier season? Like that seems like such
Somebody asked me like, in the server, they're like, well, they planned for 10 seasons when they got renewed the first time. What's going to happen after those 10 seasons? Because like that was obviously their first plan, and then they got renewed for additional seasons. But like I like character development, and I like the overarching storyline, the quote unquote lore of Rick and Morty. But I honestly think, like Futurama, it can kind of just be this infinite fun machine. And as long as you can come up with fun episode concepts, you can make good episodes of this show. And this is something that I've seen as of late. The last month I was getting really deep into Doctor Who discussion because I honestly love Doctor Who, and it got canceled, and we've been rewatching in the server as well, that there's this idea of like in the modern age of these modern Doctor Who seasons, they've been so caught up in these big overarching mysteries, when if you ask the average person like what their favorite episodes of the reboot Doctor Who is, they're just individual one-offs. I think that show could greatly benefit from having a light anthology style format. And I understand in the age of streaming that you want these grand narratives. And Among Us, an example of that. Like, you are basically meant to watch it in one sitting, but the individual episodes don't stand out as much as the series itself. But like a show like Rick and Morty, and even like Doctor Who, has individual fun sci-fi concepts that I think you can just kind of keep doing. And same was like My Adventure with Superman. I love that last episode, probably because it has a musical number, but I did really love
it's very good. I like that last episode a lot.
People want to
I will say, going back to Primal, which this has nothing to do with Primal, more like Gendy. I am so glad that Heist Brothers is now in production.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Well, I want to say that too, that like also between installments of Switch to Ultra, is it Annecy happened? The animated film festival? Yeah. So a lot of announcements from mostly Warner Bros. With a lot of the Cartoon Network and Adult Swim stuff. And by that, I mean, you know, it's all going into Adult Swim. The fact that there's going to be 2 Robot Chicken specials. So, you know, it's kind of, I think, although I didn't like the 25th anniversary special, I don't think Robot Chicken is even that good, but it holds a place in my heart. That's why I talked about it. And I think that the special format works a lot better. Having like one 30-minute special every year is probably better for the workload. So they're doing an Adult Swim anniversary special this year, and then a Cartoon Network anniversary special next year. And the fact that like the Cartoon Network anniversary is happening via this Adult Swim show, and there's even going to be a docu-series about Cartoon Network that's also going to be an Adult Swim thing, that I don't want to doom, but like I said this in the Chowder video also, that like there's a very real chance that Cartoon Network just won't be around in the next couple of years. It might just be entirely Adult Swim. But all the things that they've greenlit recently, there is, like you said, Heist Brothers. We saw a little bit more information or more trailers about what's the Joe Pera show? Is it just called Two Cars?
Yeah, Two Cars.
Yeah, Two
My
Cars.
Two Cars or something.
And then announcements of, you know, stuff like those Robot Chicken specials, all the Gendy projects, and also the Green Bad reviews. I I like these DC animated projects. Like, I didn't watch Creature Commandos, but I was earnestly shocked that they even bothered to do a season 3 of My Adventures with Superman. And apparently they also greenlit the Cape Crusader for another season. And I'll be honest, I didn't even really like the Cape Crusader. I have had fun with Spider Noir, though. On top of all that, there is a crypto, the Superdog, not the cryptocurrency, show being head by C.H. Greenblatt. And I don't know if you know this, but there's been a lot of C.H. Greenblatt information that's come out in the last month, and it's been really irritating because I have to find a way to get that in. Like, earnestly, that information came out while I was finalizing the edits of the Chowder video, or the Chowder prologue. So there's a lot of that. Is there anything else from an announcement standpoint that I missed?
Yeah, Gendy has another show about Conan the Barbarian.
Right, which is basically just Primal, which is nuts. They should have
It's
had
so
him
funny.
They
It's
should have
like-
had him do Korgoth.
I know, right? I was just thinking that. It's like, damn, if only
why not
Korgoth
just?
was this
Well,
lucky.
what's that other show that's like Photoshop animated? They had their own Conan, Adult Swim show. What's it called? It starts with an R. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, Tigtone.
Yeah, Tigtone. That's what it is. Yeah.
I love Tigtone.
I haven't seen it. I feel like there's a lot of Adult Swim series that, like, you'll look at first glance and be like, oh, this seems like not my thing. And then you watch it and it's actually brilliant. Like that of Royal Crackers, of course. But yeah, there's all that information. I don't know if I'm ranking stuff individually, if any of these shows are like the best thing this year, because I honestly don't think any of these shows have been as good as as much as I liked the drama. I'd probably say if I have to rank anything like S tier, it would be the drama. But I honestly, for what we know, because I don't necessarily see Nintendo announcing a lot of other games outside of the ones we know. Also, we didn't talk about it, but there was a Splatoon Raiders Direct today. I don't care. I don't want to know stuff about Splatoon Raiders before I play it. I know it's obviously like mechanical or lore stuff, but I'll figure it out if and when I play it. And I'll obviously get into Rhythm Heaven. But after that point, then we have like Nintendo Switch Sports Resort and Fire Emblem and Ocarina. But outside of that, it's pretty barren. So like I'll play it, but I don't see GTA being genuinely like the game of the year, you know? So I can't see anything coming out in the latter half of the year topping what we have now, but I could be entirely wrong because I already forgot about a lot of this stuff. 6 months is not a short amount of time. So I'm gonna lock in my S tier right now as the drama. Would you say that Mina is above your favorite movie? I know we're comparing like apples to oranges here, but
I don't know. I'm going to have to sit on that one.
Mm-hmm. We're having, 2026 will be the year of Mina obsession. Combine them together. And everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's all of that. What we can get into, because there's been no other major game announcements, even though we totally just did not cover the Splatoon Direct, is an older Direct, a show we've been doing on this show, or a segment on this show, where each week we've been going back to old Nintendo Directs and watching them in order that they released. And it has been quite a slog as of late, but I could tell you here that where we are right now, if I want to close out of all of this, I'm trying to fight my computer right now and just completely abandon these tabs. I'm doing my best. The Direct we're about to watch is the first time that E3 was also a Nintendo Direct, which is E3 2013. And we're going to get into that. I'm definitely not stalling. I have it right here in front of me. It's going to be very simple to open. All right. You guys ready to jump into E3 Direct 2013?
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to turn this down because somebody said it was too loud last time. In my live Andrew reaction. Whoa. Yeah, because this is...
Hello, everyone.
Did they
This
even
is
do a
Satoru Iwata
live
from
presentation? Like, I know that this was
I'm
live.
coming to you
but
from
like,
a
did they
large
have a
conference
showroom
room on the
floor?
7th
Because they were
floor
at E3
of
physically,
the Nintendo
no?
headquarters in Kyoto. At the
They had
top,
stuff, but I think the
we will
big,
be
but like
holding our
They didn't
didn't
do
really
the
do
live
like
presentation where they're up on
Yeah.
stage and like
Here.
waggling Wiimotes and stuff.
Today,
Yeah.
we'd like to deliver directly to you updates on games
We'd like
that
to
we will be
deliver.
showing at E3 2013.
I know of an
which
announcement here.
starts
I
in
don't
Los
know of
Angeles
the other
in
announcements.
just
So
a
this is
few
all fresh
hours.
to me.
We are broadcasting
It's gonna
this
be like
Nintendo Direct
Hydrogen
simultaneously
Bomb versus
around the
Coughing
world.
Baby, I feel.
So thank you for joining us today.
You are welcome.
First, please take a look at this.
Oh no, okay, that's kind of a thing.
Damn, okay. Starting off
Why?
strong.
And you
Well,
notice that
I
all
wouldn't
the
say
Mega
strong,
Evolutions
but-
look like X and Y.
You know.
Welcome to the
I don't
Kalos
remember
region,
seeing this much. This is
home
nuts.
of your new Pokemon adventure.
Well, this wasn't the
Wait,
initial
this is
announcement.
the one from Pokemon Legends
An amazing
ZA.
new
Yeah.
I
world
recognize
to
this
explore.
song.
This is the 3DS port. Hope you like Lumio City. Oh, look at the
A
starters.
place where you will discover many new
I forget, did they
Pokemon.
announce that you can pick from the Kanto starters in this at this point?
That's a good point. Whoa, Zoroark, because that was the newest. That was still cool and fresh at the time.
I low-key forgot Zoroark was in the
It's
Kalos
pronounced
deck.
Zera Aura.
Well, everything was in the cow. Well, I guess you could transfer stuff.
It was a pretty big deck.
Yeah.
And introducing a new
Oh, shit,
type
this
of
is when this
Pokemon.
happens?
This is when they announced it.
This is a nuts
my
direct,
God.
actually.
Sylveon is just one
Yeah, they just
example
look
of
like
the
I remember they
stage
showed off
of
Sylveon. They're
Pokemon
like, guess what type it is? And they didn't tell what type it was.
which is
Did they show it
super
off before
effective
this?
against dragon type.
They showed off Sylveon, but they
They
didn't say
did,
it was
yeah.
a new type.
Because it was like in
Adding
a.
a new twist
But it wasn't a
to
game.
your
It was like an
battle
anime
strategies.
thing, right? It was like a movie.
I forget.
Another
But yeah,
Is
no,
that-
they like
is
showed off. I think they
Yeah.
showed off a gameplay presentation of Sylveon, but they didn't say what type it
Fun with
was.
your Pokemon.
I think this is the first gameplay part because I know that they did that a lot.
And
You know,
play
in
with
the age
Pokemon
before the
to
everything
deepen the
was
connection.
digital
A lot of it was, I think, it was on
presentations.
Korokoro too.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's what I'm
like they
gonna
had
say,
like,
like,
a lot of shit announced on
Before
magazines.
stuff was like digital
Whether
presentations
big
and
or
like cross country releases the same day. A lot of Pokemon got their
You
first
can
reveal
even
in
copy
the anime.
your Pokemon's actions
Whoa,
to make them
V2
No, not
Model.
really.
Yeah, they did.
Only a few. In the anime? No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Munchlax. But I mean, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the anime started out. I think like at least in America, after the games came out.
So in the latest trailer for the new
I'd have to
Diamond
look,
Pearl
but
anime
yeah,
was
the Pokemon
2006 when the game
series,
came out, and there was a
Pokemon
Manaphy
X and
movie
Pokemon
for the
Y.
Hoenn region before
Oh
that.
well, yeah. I mean, like there were occasionally movies and things in the anime where like a couple Pokemon were shown off early, but that wasn't that common. Like like usually they've had like Zoroark was shown off in Gen 4.
Yeah.
Munchlax was shown off in Gen 3. So was Manaphy. So they would
Right.
occasionally do that, but altogether it's like less than
Well,
fewer than 10 Pokemon.
I
that were
watched
like-
that Manaphy movie for the video I've been working on, and it's like it's Manaphy, Chatot, Weasel is in that. And then
Wow,
there's
that's more than I thought. When did that come out? Yeah, maybe I'm. Yeah, dude, that's
2004,
like,
2003. It was something like that. It was like before they had been properly.
I don't
It's
think it was
definitely
that early.
It's definitely before
2006. It was a couple months before Diamond and Pearl came out.
Right.
Pokemon X and
But I'm
My-
pretty sure Munchlax was first shown off in like 2004, like really
Yeah.
early.
Well, and then
But,
the final episode of the Johto
There was also
League, or the
Lucario
Johto
and the
League
Mystery of
itself.
Mew, for what it's worth.
Yeah, well,
Forgot
they
about
did it a
that
lot
one.
with
Take a
movies.
look
Like, it
at
doesn't
it.
happen in the anime as much,
It
although,
was
like,
usually movies.
yeah.
generally.
Well, that was the cycle for a while. Is like the movie would be based on stuff. I remember that where like he says like, oh, the next 3D Mario, and then they show this.
I remember that this was so poorly received that they had to do a follow-up trailer.
Right, they had to
that
be
was
like, it's
"Guys,
like
not
Galaxy."
Mario 3D Land. I
Yeah.
promise.
You know, like in retrospect, X and Y, fucking 3D World. Like knowing what we know now, this is pretty decent direct actually.
And I never liked 3D Land that much. Maybe if I replayed it, I'd get more out of it. But I was kind of
Wait,
like
Land
not
or
into
World?
it. Land. World,
The
I was
3DS
more
one.
into when I first played it.
I was the opposite.
Sorry, did I say Land was the one? I was more into World when I first played it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm the opposite because like I liked Land because it was on the 3DS, and I didn't get this until this was on the Switch.
I think at the
No,
point
this
when I
game
first played
fucking
Land, like I wasn't that into Mario. I'm like, okay, yeah, dude, like I'll
Yeah.
jump over some shit.
Well, this
you know?
is like,
I think I
it-
was more in the mood for Mario when I first played
Right.
World.
This is the same situation as like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Is that like it's more remembered, or at the time it just isn't what people wanted. Whoa, Captain Toad. Whereas like now that we have a bunch of proper Pokemon RPGs on the Switch, like you can appreciate Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee for what it was rather than what it was. And the same applies
That's
for
a big
to
part
3D
of it,
World. Is
yeah.
like in a world where Odyssey exists, like 3D World can
But to
kind
be
of be
fair,
its
when
own
did Mario Galaxy 2 come out? 2010 or 2011?
11.
Dude, we had it so good. Like we're so like it's like, oh yeah, Mario Galaxy 2 comes out in 2011 along with Mario Land. Either that, I think it was 2012 maybe. And like we had the balls to complain about when Mario 3D World when it came out. We're like, okay, come on, bro. These are like 3 big ass games.
You know what's
like we waited 4 years for Odyssey and we haven't had like a real 3D Mario. And to be fair,
and Odyssey was
I was gonna say
9 years
it's
ago.
almost 10 years without a 3D Mario.
Yeah,
That's
well, we
crazy.
have Bowser's Fury. Well, now it's the same argument. Is like, is 3D World a proper 3D Mario? But now we're just counting Bowser's Fury instead.
Luigi.
I don't think so. I think
I remember
like,
thinking this was sick though. You know,
Each character
having the Mario
I don't
2
know,
characters.
dude. No, I wasn't excited for the multiplayer at first, and I remember why. Because, dude, honestly, the multiplayer in New Super Mario Bros. I don't know. I've never liked it. It's always been the fact that you can like bump into each other is just a pain in the ass and just causes so much. Especially when you're a kid, and you're like,
I love that. It's perfect.
Yeah, when we were using game chat to play this on the like Switch launch era, like I could not keep track of anything. We were just all trying to run. We were just trying to get to the flagpole. We should go back to that again because I do want to finish
but like
that.
I was surprised by how much I enjoyed 3D World's multiplayer because it's on a 3D plane, so you're not constantly fighting for space with other characters. Because like any like fast-paced platforming just becomes a nightmare in New Super Mario Bros. At least because you don't
no
like bump
collision.
into each other as much.
Yeah.
But like usually when I was playing New Super Mario Bros, it was all like with people. Like I kind of realized like, wow, I would be doing better if I was just on my own. You know,
in retrospect, like I know that
to the
that's the
next
old
title.
adage is that
Please take a
time
look.
moves a lot slower when you're a kid, and like sometimes seems like a whole lot of time. This is a nuts direct actually, and you know the Wii U era was only like 5 years or something, but like it felt, because I was a kid at the time, it felt like an entire thing. But like looking at these dates, it's like, oh man, 3D World came out a year after New Super Mario Bros. 2. It felt like an entirely different era. That's nuts.
No, literally, and I don't know. I mean, I think to myself, you know, Mario Galaxy 2 came out. I must have been maybe either in 4th or 5th grade. And I first played Mario Galaxy 1 when I was in, I think, 2nd grade. And like those feel so much further apart than they actually are.
Did you see that pissed off Luigi?
Like you'll have me nowadays saying that I recently played a game and I played that shit 2 years ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
I still haven't beaten Tears of the Kingdom.
Beating Breath of the Wild.
That's nuts.
I know it is nuts.
Psychotic.
But the thing is, now I'm Tears of the Kingdom pilled, and it's hard for me to go.
Where's King Gold Peach?
See, for someone who played way more Tears of the Kingdom than I did Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom in a bubble not being just like Zelda's Top of Breath of the Wild, I think I do like Tears of the Kingdom more. I know that's contentious.
God, remember the original Mario Kart 8 roster and how like
Dude,
we
look
didn't
how
have
pissed
any
Luigi
issues with it?
is. Imagine a funny meme about, well, this is the gimmick, is you can go under the map.
I think pissed off Luigi was more 2014 now that I think about it.
What was the release of the game?
It came out, like people really kind of took note of it with when the game came out. Not here.
Mm-hmm. Not here.
Nani?
The name of the
I mean,
new
like
Mario
on
Kart
paper,
game we are creating for Wii
because obviously, you know,
is
I'm remembering
Mario
the
Kart
deluxe
8.
edition, but on paper, a direct
In
that's
Mario Kart 8,
Pokemon X and
we
Y,
have
and then
mechanics
Super Mario
of
3D World, and then Mario Kart 8. This is a good direct on paper.
Well, to be fair, X and Y wasn't announced here. It was just kind of added
But now
on.
we see the start.
I think this is when Mario Kart 8 was first announced.
Yeah.
What a 3D. Like I think Mario Kart 8
I
and
just
3D
realized, like,
World.
did they not showcase any
You can
Koopalings?
also glide to
Have we not seen a Koopaling?
No, not yet. They might have
think so.
been saving that for later. We haven't seen any Koopalings. I was thinking
Yeah, that's
that.
gonna be the end of the E3, and we got one more thing.
Dude, you know, I've hated on like, I've been pushing back against new directs, like the hate against for the hate new directs have been getting lately. But for what it's worth, like, I mean, dude,
This is
in
all
the first
not-
15 minutes showing 3D World and Mario Kart 8 is kind of big. That's
What
kind of
helps
a
that
big
these
deal.
are all Nintendo
Sharing the
games. Like,
fun
there's
of
no
Mario
like
Kart
cozy
with
indie
others
RPG
worldwide
farm
for the
game.
Mario Kart 8 will launch in Spring
okay.
2014.
So yeah,
It definitely helps that back then they weren't as concerned with like when they were willing to announce games a year in advance. Because Mario Kart 8 came out in May of 2014.
This game will
What about this,
include
though?
Not only
That like low-key doesn't count as spring. That's like saying spring when you're trying to lie. I actually don't remember what this is. Is this like Wii Party U or something?
Yeah.
gamepad,
I think they showed this
and
off in a
remote
previous direct.
controllers. Additionally,
I almost
it
forgot
will
about the Wii U
have
for a
80
second because
different
we haven't seen the
brand
pad
new
the whole
minigames,
time.
And what we are calling table.
Slot
Dude, I feel like these are the games that first made me feel old. I'm like, man, dude, I'm 11 now. I'm not a kid anymore because I knew that if I tried playing something like this with my parents when I was 8, they'd have humored me. But if I tried this when I was like 11, they'd be like, no.
No, dude.
Not playing.
Oh, your parents. Well, like all my friends that I grew up with were like getting really into the Xbox One and Call of Duty and whatnot. But whenever they would come over, they would want to play Nintendo Land because I was the only one with a Wii U and people love playing Nintendo Land. They just don't want to own a Wii U.
To continue to work on the game.
You can walk on the game. You don't stand on it.
Also, during our Nintendo Direct in January,
Right.
we announced that
Right, the big game.
will be launching within the spring and summer seasons. However, we have decided to create new features that will result in as high quality and experience
They
as
should put
possible,
one of those
including those
heart
using
monitors
the
that you
new
could put on
fit
your
meter.
wrist.
So
Make
the
it a part of the
development
game.
has required
Call it
more
wrist
time.
fit. I'm surprised they haven't.
After
Well, I
the
guess I'm
Wii
not
U
because they don't
launch,
use the Wii branding
We couldn't
anymore.
release games as smoothly as we had
I
planned.
think that's the issue with.
To those of you
Well,
that have
no, they
been
still use the
eagerly
Mii
awaiting
branding.
these titles,
Which makes like
I
Nintendo
appreciate
Switch
your
Sports as a
patience.
brand even more strange.
here is
They really
the
had
launch
something good
title
with the
for
Miis.
Wii Party U,
I mean, I guess
and
they kind of tried to move away with it from it because it wasn't. Maybe they saw it as archaic, kind of like an era from the Switch that they wanted. I mean, the Wii U they wanted to move away from. But
from users who have
I don't know. I mean,
invested
I think the
and
Miis are probably one of the
energy
things people
in their
miss the
creation.
most about the Wii era.
We had
Yeah,
no
well, I mean,
idea that
it's. I
Miiverse
understand they
would
were in
be
development
used
around the
in
same time,
this
but like,
way
how
before we
big of a
launched
deal
Wii U.
Tomodachi
But
life
then
was,
we
and then they're just
started
going
to
back to
wonder
those fucking.
what
What are they
users
called?
could
The
accomplish
sports
if we
people from
provided
Nintendo
them
Switch Sports.
with more
I don't give a
growth.
fuck.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
like
give a
called-
fuck.
They have their
Our
own
development
brand. They're like
team
called
to
something
create
else, a different
software
species
that would
altogether.
help
They're
us
pod
answer
people.
this question.
Yeah,
Here it is.
they were born in a
They're
test
the
tube
pod
or some
people
shit.
memes.
Installment of
Art
the Art
Academy.
Academy series is in development for Wii U, but we are not yet close to completing
Yeah,
the
I feel like
software.
this isn't as much.
On the other hand,
Well, I get it,
we
now that
noticed
we're in
what
this
is
period,
happening
there
on
aren't
Miiverse
trailers.
and
Like it
decided
started with a
it
handful of
was
trailers,
worthwhile
and now
to
it's just like,
provide
oh,
a
this
new
is what we're
drawing
working
tool
on.
by
Also, check
taking
out these
some features
screenshots.
from the new game and release it in advance as a special version just for
Again,
Miiverse
everything I
fans.
know about this Nintendo
This
franchise,
new
I'm going to be saying this a
software
lot, comes
allows
from Smash
users
Bros.
to post drawing to Miiverse using aspects of the
Has there
new
been an Art
Wii
Academy
U
game on the
title.
Switch?
This drawing
think
tool
so. I think
there might have
will be
been, actually. Let me see.
available
No,
for The
no,
Nintendo
you
eShop
looking
on
good, yeah.
Wii U this summer.
This summer.
You will be able to use pencils, colored pencils, and pastels as you draw directly on the gamepad screen and post your creations to me.
Why did that Mario look like, why did they color him like Luigi? This is like a Super Show animation error where they accidentally make Mario Luigi.
We hope that you will continue to surprise us by
I
creating and
use a
posting
Wacom,
such great
and I have
drawings
no
with
like
this software,
dog in this fight. I wonder if
We
like
will
digital
announce
artists actually
Yeah,
like
never
drawing on
mind.
the Wii
It never
U.
came out on Switch.
including a specific launch date.
I don't know how that would work though.
The Wii
I think it would
U.
be pretty
Always
annoying.
appreciated the support
Yeah,
of
I mean
our
getting it
work on
from
a
the
Switch.
Wii U to the
The user experience on Wii U and Nintendo 3DS is richer due to the combination of software from Nintendo and these publisher and developer.
Capcom.
Our strong
That's the other thing I
partnerships
wanted to say too. You know,
are
I've been
certainly
watching a lot of
Platinum
videos
Games.
as of late when it comes to.
scheduled to launch
I said that
this
I'm
year.
locking in fucking
Let's
Norman
take a
Reedus
look
and Fun
at
Gang.
what our partners have
I would
been
be
working
surprised
on.
if there wasn't like a new Capcom franchise in Smash Bros.
Platinum Games. That's not Platinum Games. That's
Ubisoft.
Do people give a fuck about Assassin's Creed still? Like, I haven't heard
Batman.
someone bring that game up, anything about Assassin's Creed up in
I think
years.
it lost all of its clout when there was a leak that said like they were working on an Assassin's Creed game where you play as a a freed slave attacking and going after and liberating slaves from slave owners, but then the company didn't want to do it because they thought people would get mad about it. So the fact that like the company kind of like bended the knee to chuds and made people lose a lot of respect for it, or just a lot of excitement.
To be fair,
I don't know.
I
if the
don't
masses
think
are that
Ubisoft
controlled.
has the tact to handle something like that. I don't trust them to
Well, I
handle
don't think
that in the best way.
Yeah, but even if it's Rayman Legends.
Whoa, Rayman
Remember
Legends
this?
make this game again.
Whoa. Where's Ocarina of Time 3D? Was this just like scary Stephanie Brown? What the fuck does that mean? This was
Well, they're
Gary
showing
Stephanie
both the
Brown,
Wii U
duh.
and 3DS
this was
version.
built on Unlimited, right? Like it's just the same. Is it like a DLC pack or is
Probably.
it its own game? I guess it's its own game. Man, they released these a lot too. Whoa,
It's all
Disney's
just
Planes,
Disney games and like Warner Brothers shit.
Shin Megami Tensei 4.
From Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Dude, showing Disney's planes and then Shin Megami Tensei 4. That's
Dude, they just
awesome.
kind of they were like
Yeah,
ready
Shin
for me
Megami-
to talk shit.
Shin Megami Tensei 4
Skylander
never stood a
swap
chance.
Bro, I
wars.
thought this was Ratchet and Clank for like
This was
a third of a
a
second.
this was a launch title. I did get this for the Wii U when it launched. Oh wait, maybe it fucking wasn't.
Is this one
Actually.
with Bowser and Donkey Kong, or is this a different
No,
one?
that's the racing one. Skylanders.
Oh, Supercharged.
Yeah, Supercharged. Yeah. Oh yeah, this was also a Wii U exclusive.
Yo, new
Dude, they
Sonic
want to be
game,
Mario
we're
Galaxy
cooking.
so bad. Dude, this is literally just Mario Galaxy.
I will
level
say that,
design.
like, you know, you said that you were kind of getting embarrassed of the Wii U, but this is like very much deep into the fandom aspect when I was a kid, and like I wasn't playing games as much as I was like watching people talk about games. So you know, getting into like everyone in Screw Attack, Angry Video Game Nerd, Breno Floss, like Screw Attack themselves. So like seeing the Koopalings and seeing
Nintendo
like the
is
little
also
animal
committed
companions
to
in Sonic Lost
expanding
World,
our
I was
digital
like, whoa,
offerings
it's retro,
and
that's
supporting
awesome, just
the
like the
growth
games of old.
our
No, yeah,
digital
I was definitely
development.
into that too, but I think I would just get made fun of a lot for being a Nintendo fan.
I am
I see.
constantly impressed.
So I felt like it was a thing
by
I kinda kept to
creativity and
myself.
Innovation
Interesting.
in games
I
for
will say-
Nintendo eShop
Sorry.
that we see
Wow.
from our many independent developers. Let's take a look.
I will
at
say
the
that I probably
selection
would have
of
made
games
less friends if I
arriving
didn't
on
have
Nintendo
Xbox Live
eShop
in high school.
very soon.
Like, I definitely made myself play games I didn't care about so I could like hang in the circles.
I did that with like Steam games.
That's what I wanted to say earlier is that like I brought this up in the Oh, I remember this. I played this at
I
MagFest
low-key
one
forgot
time.
about this
Dude,
game.
I
Holy
fucking
shit!
Dude,
I
they
forgot
delisted
about
this game.
that.
I'm so fucking mad. I love Cloudberry
That's
Kingdom. And they
nuts.
delisted it.
Damn.
This game's great too. And the fact that this has not been released on modern consoles is
Is
the
it not in
bane
that
of my
Disney
fucking
collection? No, I guess
existence.
that's the original port.
No, it's not.
I remember this too.
This game's great too.
I remember Mutant Mud's good luck.
It was exclusive to PC. I didn't like on principle. Oh, Shovel Knight on the Wii U. That had exclusive features with the amiibo, right?
Oh, that
like
game's
the
never gonna do good.
spin the bottle, Bumpy's party. I don't know. This could sell a bajillion copies. But yeah, I didn't like any of the PC games just because I couldn't play them. What the hell is this?
This was I think this was a Xbox exclusive for a little bit.
But it's got Mii's in it. Oh,
Next,
are they like
we-
the
I
version
know,
of
that's
the
what's weird.
avatars? I
About
see.
the Wii U version of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker.
Right.
In our January Nintendo
I thought they were
Direct,
going to show off the tech
the
demo
game's
that never came
producer,
out.
Mr. Aonuma.
I mean, it was never meant to be a
demonstrated
game.
How the world of the Wind Waker and HD graphics are a very good.
Turn up the bloom. Turn up the bloom.
Yeah, I
Turn
was
up the
going to say,
bloom.
how do
Why
you guys
he
feel
decided
about
to return
HD
to the
remaster
game
Wind
world
Waker?
on Wii U.
I mean, it's the only one I ever played.
Today, we
So
have
I don't know.
prepared
I
this
mean, when I first played it, I'm like, I guess I should play it this way. I mean, now since I'm playing Ocarina of Time on the original not on the original hardware, but the original N64 version.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking maybe I should play Wind Waker in its original form. Because I think I definitely agree that there seems to be certain elements of the visual presentation that were kind of lost with
Yeah.
the
I mean, there's a
with the
ton
amount
of
of light
quality
in
of
this
life
game.
changes in the Wii U version, but
The
people
fast
say that
scale is the big deal. I mean, that
people
really
say that the
changes a
GameCube
lot.
version looks better. But I'm willing to
No,
lose
but I mean,
that
for what
a
it's
bit.
worth, like I think the Wii U version looks good in its own
Yeah.
way. It's just, I think a
It's
different
weirdly
direction.
making me nostalgic. Well, hold on, Wind Waker you said came out in 2003? Something like that. And this is
2002 or 2003.
yeah, so it's been more time since this remake came out than the time between Wind
That's
Waker and
crazy.
this remake. Man, I should play this. I
But
fucking
I know
have
a lot
it
of people
on
who
the Wii U.
swear by Wind Waker. But it took me a long time to play, so I probably enjoy it more as an
yeah,
adult.
prior to like the Breath of the Wild era, I think it's the best 3D Zelda.
The thing about me is that, like, especially as a kid, you know, I never liked 3D Zelda was hard to get into. Like, there's just a lot of, I don't know, I mean, even with Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I definitely always prefer the 2D.
Like I would get stuck on things a lot as a kid. It's like, I just don't know where to go next.
Yeah.
And like, I have to spend like 4 minutes getting from place to place on like the hope that maybe I need to go to that place, even if and then I find out I don't. It's just there's a lot of shit like that I always kind of struggled to get into 3D Zelda.
I said this on the show too, that like around the time Breath of the Wild came out, I was very determined to never look anything up. But then I got into like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, where I was stuck, but I was too proud to look it up. So that just amounted to me not playing the game anymore because I couldn't figure out what to do. When it would have been way easier if I just like actually did look at a walkthrough.
We are also utilizing shaders on the Wii
Dan,
U
you said
to
I don't
improve
know.
visual
What do you
expression
think is the best
and
3D Zelda
refine
prior
our
to Breath of the
texture
Wild?
graphics.
I think
We think
Majora's
that
Mask
with these
is
improved
my
features,
personal pick.
the
I
game
think
looks
that there is no
as
game
good
quite
as
like Majora's
before.
Mask. I don't think there's ever going to be a game quite like Majora's Mask ever again.
I think Pikmin gets close, but it's a different vibe altogether.
The player controls the wind using the
I don't know. That's hard to say. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's a different kind of, because that's more of a resource management game than a
time management
adventure game.
Right now.
Yeah, time management.
Some adjustments.
I want to
know what
try
you're saying, but at the
Majora's
same
Mask
time,
again
it's like
because I remember I
oh,
had the 3DS version and I didn't love it. But
Today,
you know,
like
my
to talk
sensibilities have
about
changed a
one
little bit, and I
key
did really
change
like
from
playing
the
the Pikmin
original
games.
version.
So maybe I feel like I would
In
like
the
it
original
more.
game,
That's
the
fucked
player
up that they have his
received
face
an
fade into it. Hold on, let me get this exact
GameCube
frame.
version.
Wait, hold on, wait.
That's very funny.
That's evil.
In the original game, the player received an item.
Right, the
called
Tingle Tuner. That was the
Tuner
GBA feature.
from the series familiar
You know, like when
character,
you have
Tingle,
specific consoles and then you
which
kind of just
allowed
hear
you
about
to
you
connect
play all
the
these older
game
games
with
only
the
through
Game Boy
ports. You don't
Advance
they don't
system
often talk about
to
like outside of the
experience
zapper. They don't
assisted
talk about all the
play
dumb
from another
peripherals
player.
they had, but they had them for like
Of course,
every console.
Wii U isn't capable of linking with Game Boy Advance.
Right.
So we decided to update the Tingle-related
removed
features
Tingle from the
to
game.
make them compatible with Wii U. Once you receive the Tingle borrowed item from Tingle, you can start posting on Miiverse. It's like putting a message in a bottle and throwing it into the ocean.
If I got that bottle, I'd
Through
throw
this
it back.
new feature, comments posted on Miiverse will wash up on shores of other players' games. You can even attach a screenshot from your game. We hope players will use this feature to connect with others and get the most enjoyment out of the game.
This game was kind of already on the GameCube ahead of its time. Now
The
every game is a
Legend of
photo
Zelda,
mode.
The Wind Waker HD will be released in October.
Oh, this October.
Next up is a game we will launch before The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker
I know this is
HD.
E3 and E3 is always big,
It's
but
The
oh, never
Wonderful
mind.
101
But this is
from
a
Platinum
huge
Games
direct.
and Mr. Hideki Kamiya.
How
Right.
far in are we?
This is an action game
Halfway.
where a group of heroes and their
my
leader
goodness.
Wanderer
Am I remembering
will
this
battle
direct
against the Space
correctly?
Invader
There's something else I'm
group,
like waiting
the
for.
Get Jack, who have started to
Smash
attack
Bros.
Earth.
I know what you're waiting for.
Well, I don't know, it could be
Bayonetta
anything.
3.
Oh, sorry. Wonderful
It
101,
could
let's
be.
go!
It could be the wonderful 101
Unite
too.
Meme Run 2, baby.
Them transform into
Pixel
giant
Dash.
weapons by uniting themselves
Fuck,
with
Cloudberry
others.
Kingdom, is that what it was
Unite
called?
more powers will be
Dude, I
activated
fucking love
by
Cloudberry.
I
drawing
genuinely
the
forgot that
symbol
existed. Like I forgot that.
corresponding with the transformation
Where's this guy
on the
getting into
Wii
Smash?
Were you ever like a big achievement hunter watcher or no?
Yes,
symbol
yeah.
on the screen.
Okay, because that's like one of my favorite series from them. It's so good.
Yeah, that's where I
love
learned
it.
about it
love
for the
their
first
Cloudberry
time.
Kingdom.
Warpath.
That's where I learned about it too. Oh man.
At
We were
the
playing
game shop, the player
we did the
purchase
Steam
and
roulette
add
on stream where we
various
just like spun a big wheel
skills
and
and
competed in all the
using
Steam
items
games in the
called
library that have
Warpath.
remote play.
The player
And
can
we were playing
collect
Worms.
throughout the game.
And Worms has like these pre-made
Players can
teams,
acquire
and one of the
and
pre-made
use
teams is just like
additional
named
Unite
Team
more powers
Gav, and I'm like,
as
oh,
they
that's
play,
I didn't know that they
such
were
as
directly
Unite
this is
Gav,
an actual
which
direct
deflects
reference.
enemy attacks.
Do you fuck with
Bro, they could literally bring back Cloudberry
this
Kingdom,
game,
like tweak a few things
co-operative
in this
multiplayer
friend swap era. It would
Yeah.
go so hard.
Well, that's what I wanted to say
It's
earlier. Is like, you know,
also
we
available.
jest about friend slot, but like, you know,
Each player
if
will
third-party
lead
games are
his
going to
or
continue
her
being
own
$70,
group of
$80,
heroes
like
and
the
battle
game that I've
together.
seen the most people playing is that one Chameleon game, and I might like
The
fucking hop
wonderful
on
101
Rivals
will
too,
launch on
like this
September
weekend.
15. We'll be
Have you watched
able
any
to share
Regulation
more
podcast or
information
Regulation
with you
gameplay?
closer to launch through a
No.
Nintendo Direct
It's
dedicated
Jeff and Gavin
to the
and the three
wonderful
of their
101.
friends. I mainly listen to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
whenever
No,
I'm
I am
on there.
subscribed to them. I never
We are announcing
got
for
into
the
it.
You're
first
doing it
time
out of
in
support, I
Nintendo
see.
Direct.
I honestly, I kind of lost
Please watch
like
this video.
touch after the whole Ryan thing. That
Yeah.
just really
I was more
that
of a
kind of like fucked me
Yeah,
up.
I was more of a. Well, the thing is, there's so many channels that are like, oh, they had to replace the classic team, and then they brought in a bunch of new people. But with like Funhouse, like I like the original, the people, that's where I get a lot of information still. But like after that, like all the new people, it's like Smosh, right? That like,
I was never like a big Funhouse guy either. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but like
they're fine. I just
oh no, I love it. But it's a little bit of like a Smosh situation where like if you only watch Smosh, like classic Smosh, you're always gonna be like, oh, who are these new people? But the new people are actually like really entertaining, and I kind of prefer them. But it's it's always gonna be stuck with that one name. Although all of Rooster Teeth is gone now, so now they just go under
The
Astro
video
Goblin.
you are
Is this Tropical
watching
Freeze?
is from the latest
Yes, this
Yes.
is peak gaming hours.
Have they shown off a bad game
Damn.
yet? At least in the Nintendo.
Dude, they're like low key, like trying to build up
does
Dixie
Pokemon
into
X and Y
Cranky.
count?
is known for its dynamic
Does that count as a bad game?
I-
design. In this new adventure,
I think
Donkey Kong and his friends
that
home,
I would put
Donkey Kong
X and
Island
Y on the
has
same
been
level as
overrun
like
by Vikings from the
Star
North
Fox
Sea.
64, but
In
just like
order
base
to
game
take
where
back his
there's
home.
I
nothing.
just don't like any of the 3DS Pokemon
Yeah.
games. I'm not
I
gonna
like
lie.
Sun and Moon,
Adventure
but like
to
X and
five
Y,
other
that was the
islands.
first time where like even as a
As a
kid I
real
beat it in like a
title
day or
for the
so. I'm
first
like, this
time
is too
in the series.
easy. Like,
We are
I was
able to
disappointed with X and Y.
yeah,
I was
because
really
Omega
building it up
Ruby
in
and
like
Alpha
that,
Sapphire have the same problem where they try and cut out the fluff. Where
You
you
can
can just
even see
teleport
Donkey
from the
Kong's
4th gym to the
fur
5th gym,
flowing
and once you do the
like
5th
this.
gym, they just give you Eladios or Eladios.
One of the biggest
And X and Y is that same issue
advances
too, where they just
from
give you a
previous
ton of
Donkey
shit.
Kong
And you could like
games.
purposefully
I
make the
kind of
game
forgot how
harder
ugly this game is.
on the Wii
Like,
U.
I love this game, but like, there's no fucking reason this game should look so crunchy. I'm sorry.
What, are they gonna show the cutscene with all his fur textures? I remember that would be
Dude, the
a big
lighting is
deal.
worse than I remember.
Yeah.
To be honest, I
It
think they
actually
kind
is.
of whipped
I forgot
it.
how
I think
bad
they
the
whipped it
lighting-
into shape. Like,
Yeah, I
for
don't
the
know if it
release
does look like
because
this when the game
I
actually
feel like
come out. but-
I think they might have improved on it because I don't know. I remember
They
the
must
game
have,
looking
because I
better
don't
than
remember it looking this bad.
Yeah, this feels more like
Once again,
Returns,
the
which is,
game
obviously what it was built on.
That's why I couldn't tell at first.
Yeah.
In addition to Diddy
Well,
Kong,
To be honest,
notice how they have
Tropical
64
Freeze didn't come out
bananas.
until 2014.
Bro, Dixie!
Dixie
Whoa!
It's gonna be in Smash
Holy
Bros.
shit! I'm still waiting on the DKC
An
Returns
Echo
HD
Fighter.
Cranky
the gameplay
DLC.
possibilities for the title.
Yeah, that's
Even
weird
more.
in retrospect.
Like, where's the Cranky DLC?
Yeah, why no Cranky
Come on.
Kong?
The game
There we go.
official title is Donkey Kong Country Tropical,
All right, when is it releasing? Come on.
and it will launch in November.
This November. Does it get
No
delayed?
fucking way. That's
Or is it
crazy.
coming out this
wow.
year?
It must be
Maybe,
getting
maybe I
delayed.
just
shit.
misremembered. Let me look it up.
In the last trailer we released for this game, you weren't able to see Bayonetta.
Nah, they
from the
did
front.
Right.
they did push it back to
That's not the
2014.
That
But
makes
we
sense.
got
Okay,
another
good. That's what I
trailer
thought.
that shows a little more.
Now I miss Screw Attack. Damn.
Yeah. We gotta get one
That
of
was
them
like
on
my
the,
shit.
when we
Even
had
though-
Brent on the show,
even
we
though,
gotta get one of the other
Bro,
chuds.
Screw Attack. Yeah. I'd be
Well,
down
I was
for
gonna
that.
say,
Stuttering
like
Craig
the only
on
one
the
that's left from that
podcast.
is like Craig, and I don't think we want to get Craig on the
Yeah,
podcast.
he could talk about his new crypto or his MAGA, whatever.
Yeah, I forgot
get
which,
Stuttering
which
Nick?
member
I
it
love
was, but
Nick.
I'm like remembering the Matt Pat the game theory video about Punch Out, where
Yeah.
he starts out like with a Screw Attack guy saying that he admitted something about himself that took a lot of bravery, and he sort of was kind of judged about it for a little bit, but like fortunately the loving arms of his friends, they were willing to accept him for who he was. So like Matt Pat's like building up this gay joke, but then he's like, this member of the Screw Attack team admitted he had never actually beaten Punch Out or something like that.
that was obviously it's game theory videos that like he clearly just wanted to make because he was fans of these games, as opposed to when you're a YouTuber, there's a little bit of like understanding. It's like, okay, I can understand why you would make this video that people like watch for. I understand the idea of like going after views, and I don't think he disliked Five Nights at Freddy's, but it always bummed me out that he never bothered to go back to Earthbound when like that first Shit.
What do you mean? Sans' nest?
Dude, have you gone back to... That's all I could think about when that fucking scene happened in Deltarune. I was like, oh my god, he's
It's
right.
so funny how... It's also
Bayonetta
funny
previously
how
had very long hair.
FNAF
but
took
in
off with
Bayonetta
him.
2,
Yeah.
Because I went back to his original video.
It was a
and
code,
that
a
thing
symbiotic
might be...
relationship.
As a new hairstyle.
It might be one of his worst videos.
Now we can
Yeah, he's
show
just like,
you
oh, it's
Like,
based on a
no-
real shooting.
for the first time.
And I'm like,
Oh.
I don't think this was never good. Why? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, like, that's something I
Dude,
brought up in my
low-key,
video. too,
like,
that,
FNAF was a
game theory
one-off,
Yeah, Game
but,
Theory and FNAF
like-
was a symbiotic relationship. They kind of fueled
Bayonetta's
each other.
climatic action is
I mean,
even
that was
more
before
powerful.
FNAF 2, and like, I mean, low key,
You know, the
I
3
guess
months
when I
before
first
FNAF
watched
2.
it, yeah, right. When I first
We'll be
watched it,
able to
I mean,
share
as a
more
kid, I didn't think about it too
information
hard,
about
but
abilities.
like, yeah, some guy makes a horror game that's like
Bayonetta 2
loosely
will
inspired by a true crime event.
2004.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can kind of believe that, all things considered, or I was
Next,
able to believe
please take a
that,
look.
at least as like an interesting kind of perspective. But then it turns out it wasn't the case.
Well, now I'm just like quoting my own video, but it's also what I talked about earlier, that like I was really into creepypasta and spooky internet stuff, and it was all like, oh, this haunted Nintendo game or this creepypasta Ben drowned. Basically, as soon as it shifted to like PC indie games, I was like, this is stupid and gimmicky. Because I had no access to Five Nights at Freddy's or Slender, so I was like, oh, these games aren't even good. And the same happened with Undertale, where I'm like, oh, I don't even care. I never got into it because I didn't have a computer that could like run proper games as a kid. I played Five Nights at Freddy's and Prop Hunt in fucking Project Spark. Is this Xenoblade?
Yeah, it is.
Why are they in a city? Wait, which one is
No, I
this?
thought this was Overwatch. I think it's X.
Yeah. Where's Elma?
I don't know the lyric. I'm pretty sure this is the final boss music. It's so kind of funny, like showing the final boss music, like in like the second trailer for the
It's
game.
kind of crazy. I don't mean to be like a doom and gloomer, but like there has not been a single terrible announcement, and you just compare this to like the past Nintendo Direct. It's like,
Yeah,
damn,
the June Direct, yeah.
what happened?
They had a lot more to prove. And also, like, this is the second year of the Wii U. We're comparing it to the second year of the Switch. Is that, like...
I think the biggest thing was that they were willing to announce things like years before they came out. Because Xenoblade X didn't come out until 2015.
In this
That's
new
true.
game
But to be fair,
being
the Xenoblade
developed
they
by
announced in
Mr.
the Direct doesn't come out until
Tetsuya Takahashi's
2027.
team At Monolith Soft.
Thank you,
The
Monolith
goal
Salt.
is to create a large-scale open world.
goal
Let's
is to
not
create
forget
the
they
biggest
announced
game
Mega
ever.
Man
Endlessly.
in 2025, coming out in
Using their
2027.
Experience from creating
Right.
Xenoblade
Well,
to
we
make
didn't even
this
see
goal.
anything
Which
about
is
that.
wild.
We saw him chained up
We
at the
hope
Game
that
Awards.
this video you have
That's what I was
Meanwhile,
going to say
Ace Attorney is
earlier.
still
That,
in
like,
limbo.
if we're
a
following
taste
like
of the
gaming
wide
trends, like, oh, what
open
was the biggest
adventure
thing to happen
that
between
the game
Smash
is
games?
looking to
I
deliver.
think that like Capcom got a
By
lot
the
of
way,
earned a lot of equity and
the
spent a lot of
player
equity in
the
reviving a lot of their
human-shaped robot
series, and I would be
that
surprised
appears
if a
in
new
the
Smash
trailer
doesn't have
at
a Monster
certain
Hunter
points
or a
in the
Leon
game.
Kennedy. Like I think those are
They
pretty
will
likely.
even fly in the
Yeah, for what it's worth.
Like
I'd be
character
down for
or
Resident
like
Evil
rep
Smash.
at all?
This new title
Character.
from Mr. Tetsuya Takahashi's team will be
Because
launched
Damn, I
think
don't
we're-
know about that.
I don't
14.
see us getting more Street Fighter or
Please
more
stay
Mega Man.
tuned.
So like, repping all their other big series
We
makes
have
more
one
sense.
final
Maybe
game
you don't
to
need a
show
Monster
today.
Hunter
Well,
character.
Please
but-
take a look.
I don't know. I just think I think the Monster
Oh!
Hunter.
That's it, baby.
Oh,
God.
God.
Here we go.
Monster Hunter.
Oh,
This is it,
fuck,
this is it.
dude. This is what started the
Damn.
invitation thing, and it used to just be a
Yep.
reference to Animal Crossing, and now it's, hey, look, Isabel's over there. She doesn't want to pick up the... Oh, fuck, man. Now I'm
You
back.
think they realized how popular this was? It's like, damn. Let's
Yeah,
just
the
keep doing
letter
this.
just became a thing, because, like, the other Wii U character announcements don't have the letter.
Yeah,
Right?
they
Yeah.
kind
This is also crazy because I just remembered this just like confirmed every
Dude,
single
just the
returning
balls
character
here, 'cause they didn't
except
show it
for
off.
Yoshi. Like there is
messed
no
up.
Yoshi in this
Yeah,
trailer
let's
at all,
analyze
which
this.
is
Let's see.
crazy.
Okay, so
Whoa,
they're
two
only
screens.
showing the 3DS version so far. That's
Whoa.
why they do the line.
Yeah, but then he breaks off the... I don't know if you remember. I've seen this trailer like a... Oh, yeah, Toon
I've
Link's
seen it
over
a
there.
million
People
times.
thought that they were going to cut Toon Link because he's in that stage. Yeah,
They're
this is...
hiding-
Weird they show Bowser but not
He
Yoshi.
sheds.
Like what was the choice behind that?
And now Wii U. You know, with the placeholder title, Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely gonna change that.
I didn't think about this either. That like, oh, that's a new pit move that came from Uprising. I didn't think about this until somebody pointed it out. That like this game added a lot of the combat lines. Like you hit a character and then a big cloud appears around them. Oh yeah, when people saw this ring, they speculated that it could be Little Mac. Villager.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they like showed off this ring and didn't really kind of.
They removed all the branding.
For a year.
Like they removed the Punch-Out logo and put the Smash logo there.
It's kind of crazy they announced Villager and then just never did a Wii U Animal Crossing game. A good one, mind you.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they just relied on the 3DS version, to be fair.
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
Right.
Is there anything else?
Wait, no, we
Is
still
Pete
got
coming?
time. We got.
Oh, they
we
show
got
off
5
Mega Man. I
Pete
forgot to
coming?
do it here.
Well,
I'm
hold
literally
on.
such an asshole. I'm
There he is.
fun.
They
There
could
he
show
is.
off anything.
Yo,
It
this
could be
was like-
anything.
Dude, this was my shit.
I like
do
that
you guys
this
you guys
canyon-
have seen the Nathaniel Bandy reaction, right?
Yeah, and
Oh,
this,
I remember seeing that.
This
Hell
fucking
yeah.
this canyon that shows up in all the Smash 4 reveal trailers, but like isn't any like it's just completely made up for this. Super
Dude, I
Fighting
remember
Robot.
how hyped.
Super Fighting Robot, Mega Man.
Mega Man. I want to see Switchy make a Smash video like I did, but for Smash 4 because I wasn't as tuned into that era, and I want to hear about it, especially through
Dude, I don't know. I mean, would it have to be 24 hours until
the whole thing. It is 2 years. And he goes through all of them. Some of these are custom.
No, this shit was
moves,
so
right?
rad. No. What? No.
No, some of the ones they show off because I know that he has a lot of other
that
characters.
shot so much.
Man, this is, I know that people really like the
No, I mean,
Subspace Emissary.
these are
but
pretty much his moveset.
yeah, this is the main moveset, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they show anything that was part of like the extra moves or custom moves. But I think this is all the main stuff.
Oh god, remember when
This
you
is
could
very-
customize the characters? That was
Yeah,
wild.
that sucks. But this is very much like a
I
modern
hated that.
Smash
still glad they
convention where like
dropped that.
all of their moves are based on like they're come from specific source material. On the Wily
so glad
stage.
they
Oh,
dropped that
everyone
shit.
loves
It
the
was so
Yellow
not fun.
Devil.
We will open the official Smash Brothers.
Oh, I remember that
Like,
website.
I am
shit.
so
Wait,
glad that we do not have to deal with that anymore.
Nintendo Direct.
Oh, it's not the
Dude, I remember like
blog, right.
refreshing the website over and
Wait,
over
go
again.
back. Go back
Super Smash,
Okay.
a little bit.
Smash Brothers.
Okay, play it.
website And Miiverse
A little more.
art.
After
Okay, pause it.
Oh, hold on.
Did they soft confirm Pit here?
They showed Pit
No,
earlier.
they should pick
the
it.
conclusion of
Oh, they did show Pit. Okay, wait. So,
A few times.
oh, they did. You're right.
Check them out.
You're right. That was one of the ones they showed off.
Super Smash
They
Bros.
showed
they
Pit
did not show off
Loki.
Yoshi.
Pit Loki got like this golden ticket to the big leagues because of
Yeah.
Sakurai working
the
on
move
Uprising.
he does
'Cause
here,
I've got a
Side
golden
B
ticket.
debuted in Uprising. The little like
Yeah,
thing
the
he
little
does.
like the weird like wheel thing. I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
the fuck it is.
yeah. The
Weird
the
shit.
punching glove, whatever. They also of all the final smashes, they show off Samus, but they cut
Smash Brothers
so that we
for
wouldn't know
Nintendo
that she doesn't
3DS
turn into Zero Suit
and
Samus in
Super
this
Smash
version.
Brothers for Wii U.
Yep.
With the
I kinda
Because
wanna check out
they
the
eventually
blog.
showed off Zero Suit Samus during the first dedicated Smash Direct, if I recall.
2013.
Oh, man, wait, hold on.
Was that the Smash Direct or was that like the 50 Facts Direct? I always forget.
It was no, it was the Smash. It was the one where they revealed Greninja. I'm pretty sure.
And the
Because
rest
I'm
of
pretty
these
sure they
directs only
focused
have a
on.
handful of minutes. It's nuts.
I'm pretty sure they focused on Greninja. Well, they showed off Greninja, but they also showed off a focus on Sheik, Zero Suit, and Yoshi in that direct. Maybe a couple others too.
Right, their big reveals.
We are filming
well,
this
so much of
on
that
Monday
game, like
LA
splitting the
time,
transformation
so the booth
characters,
isn't
cutting Ice
done
Climbers,
yet.
comes from
Pre-think of
needing to
this
port it to
as
two
taking an
games or
inside
two
look
consoles.
backstage.
And the like
Not with Zero Suit Samus and Samus. I think that was just like a design decision.
I don't know. I think the transformations just didn't work on. I mean, that's also why Charizard's one character.
Why wouldn't it work though? No, the
kinda
reason they did
forget, did
Charizard, they say they
Did they
just.
make
I'm
Zelda
pretty sure it
and
was
Sheik separate
because
characters here or no?
Yes, yeah.
they
make all-
did. Now,
they're-
I think the
they
reason
get-
they did was just for just to give each more character a little bit more attention. They seem to just kind of want to move away from that.
I don't know.
They
I
didn't really
think
stick
I think
to
they
it.
probably
I'd like
said
to
that, but I
show
wouldn't be
those of
surprised
you
if they
watching
like
this
couldn't
Nintendo
get it to
Direct
work on the 3DS
a sneak
somehow.
peek
Because
of
like
a
even
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
that was the
think
reason
so.
behind Ice Climbers.
yeah, the like colored
Ice Climbers because there's two full characters models being on the twice as many theoretical like characters
Yeah.
that could be in one match at a time.
I think it's even possible that they removed Ice Climbers because 8-player Smash
can
was
see
on the
the
Wii
Nintendo
U.
3DS
Oh,
I've heard
look,
people
there he is back there.
speculate that too.
It's his year. Is it still his year?
New Zelda.
Evidently,
Dude,
yeah.
literally.
But
On
next
Yoshi.
year is Smash
Well, where
Bros.
the fuck-
year.
If you
Come on, give us more year, baby.
You
Well,
can
the big
see
three.
signs of our game.
awesome.
The big three.
Attendees
But like
can
the
play
colorful like
Super
smoke
Mario
paths
3D
of like all
World
the characters that started in the 3DS version, so you could
and
more
Mario
easily
Kart
like
8.
see which direction your character was going. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't like I love Ultimate, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Shall we go to the Pikmin area?
Are they gonna show
What do you
us?
mean? Oh wait, what do you mean you love it, but you don't know how you feel about it?
Well, no, I'm saying I love Ultimate, but like, you know, when I was playing Ultimate, I was playing Ultimate. But going back to like play Brawl and Melee, I don't know if I like
standing in
prefer
front
the game
of the
before it
Pikmin
had those
section.
smoke plumes or not.
In
I
the
wouldn't.
new
I don't
game,
actually care
Ultima
that
takes
much.
a
They don't
break.
need to remove it,
And
but it's
there
something I
are
think about.
3 new player characters.
Yeah, there they are, red, blue, and
Here
yellow.
we see
Alf?
and 3 Pikmins.
Oh, what's
They
their
are
names?
made so attendee can take pictures with the Pikmin.
Rudy, Bluey, and Yellow
But
Guy.
Huey,
show
Dewey, and
begins.
Louie.
Many attendees will play our games here. I'm sure
Started
to
October
those of you
2014.
in North America.
Oh wait, is it like really buffering? Is it like really
you can
buffering
play
for you?
some
No,
of
there we
the
go.
games
Okay.
at
Wait, so this is
selected
when the game
by
came out.
locations.
Wait, I
For
wanna
more
look at the Smash
details,
Bros. website.
please look at our
Yeah,
website.
I guess not. All right, well,
Thank
we
you
got all
for
the info
watching.
there then.
All right, bye. Thank you. I love you.
Oh, chat says transformations were removed
this
because
one's
they
gonna be a
didn't work
long
on
one.
3D yet. Well, that's the thing is the next handful are all like
How?
5 minutes.
Okay, maybe I'm just wrong. Let me see.
Well, no,
Dude.
I mean, they probably definitely said that. I just don't think it's true. It's definitely something they would say. Like, I wouldn't put it past you if Nintendo, like, said that in a direct or something, and then it just ended up not being the case. They just didn't want to say that they couldn't get it to work
Damn,
on that
it's-
thing.
I guess I guess I was wrong because it said I guess it's just they say. I mean, I'm looking it up right now and I'm seeing just shit about like the memory, but I don't know. That seems like that just seems a little bit preposterous to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of, like, weird specific stuff with the 3DS. Because the fact that, I mean, like, going back to that reveal, like, obviously, you know, there's tentative feelings about Smash 4 and it being a split release. But the sheer concept of having Smash on the 3DS is, like, nuts. At the time, seeing that in 2013, I remember I was at, like, our local parish doing, like, Bible school or whatever, and I snuck my iPod Touch so I could watch the Direct, and I was like... that was my first new Smash game. Because obviously when I got Brawl was already out. There was no build up to it. So the fact that like I got to see the announcement of a game before it came out and it was Smash, it really was the precursor to Ultimate. Did any noteworthy stories happen? I guess we could talk about, you know, we're going to keep watching the Directs, and the characters are always going to be revealed in Directs, except for the ones that aren't. And we have 2 years, you know, from 2013 to 2015, or I guess early or late 2014 until that game comes out. And then we got 2 years of Wii U before any Switch Start stuff happening. What the hell did I just say? Hold on, I closed it out already. I wanted to look at how many were in the playlist and how long it's going to take us to get through them. Because at a certain point, we're going to start catching up on directs we have seen. But that's like, that'll be years down the line. We don't got to worry about that. But we have covered everything today, and like the last handful of weeks, we've had a lot to talk about, so we've hit time a little bit here. However, obviously the big thing last time is that Switchy had released the Total Drama Pocket Tail Island video, and then also a cute little video about video game cases. But since then, since the last week, Dan, you have something on your channel that was uploaded yesterday.
Yes, I uploaded my MomoCon panel. All about cartoon shipping. So go ahead and check that out. That was a great panel. I look
That was a
forward
really
to doing
fun
another one
That
next
was my
year.
favorite panel.
Oh, thank
And,
you. I love that one. That one was great.
I love the shirt. That's what really ties it together is the complicated shirt.
I've been told, yes.
Yeah.
Also, you didn't hear this from me, but the Foxbox Rocks panel will be coming soon.
Damn, I bet you could hear me fucking screaming in the front row in that one.
You probably
can. The reason this is on the Turbo channel live right now and not the main channel is because I think the premiere is finished by now. It definitely has. The thing that I've been talking about all year, this like beginning of this Nudes era retrospective, a 5-hour prologue that covers 12 episodes of Chowder and like a handful of months of time that isn't even the actual thing I'm talking about, just a prologue to it. New BHultra, new long slop on the main channel. And now I'm letting you guys go from this stream so you guys can go watch that and you could nibble on that for another month. Or if you want to wait 30 days until they inevitably lift the claim and watch it then, that's going in my pocket. So, you know, that's really up to you. But for today, well, now I watched the sunset in real time. I have been your co-parent, BHultra.
And I have been your co-parent, Switchy.
And I've been your Funkle Dan.
And I see you guys next week, talk about Rhythm Heaven. But for now, I'm hanging up. I got to fix this face. It's enough of that. Also, well, I guess it doesn't matter, but there will be stream on the, whatever. Tomodachi tomorrow. I got to remember to change this.